so defer to the second half.
Welcome to Central Hardin High School. I'm David Gary. With me, Drew Bernardi. Tonight's broadcast is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. We're going to bring you some football tonight with a couple of teams that don't really know a lot about each other. They come from different places. And Drew, we're talking about a southwestern Pulaski County team that making a long drive from Somerset.
Oh, yeah, they are, definitely. All the way up here to Cecilia, Kentucky. You know, you mentioned that these are two teams that don't really know a lot about each other. These aren't teams that play every year. It's not like Central Hardin and John Hardin or Central Hardin and North Hardin. These are two teams, even from different classes, Central Hardin in Class 6A and Southwestern in Class 5A.
It's been 2 weeks since Southwestern's played a football game. Last week, Central Hardin, well, they were all over Warren Central right here, and 50-0 was the final score of that game. They had a running clock going, and 18 different guys carried the football last week.
Yeah, I think that's the most that I've ever heard of carrying the football in one game. But you know what? It was effective. They got racked up 311 rushing yards and 50 points with those 18 carries.
The Warriors of Southwestern are 3-2. They're a 5A team. They've beat Northwest from Clarksville, Tennessee. They won 50-0 over Paul Lawrence Dunbar. They beat Madison Central at Madison Southern earlier in the season, 24-15, but they lost to Henry Clay at home, and that's a solid team straight out of Lexington that a lot of teams lose to. They also lost 23-20. I heard the guys from Somerset say that they haven't lost 2 games in a row for a couple of years. This is a team that's used to winning.
Yes, it is, and you know, you talk about Central Hardin, who's been very used to winning in the last couple of years. But you know what? That 23-20 loss last week that Southwestern recorded might be the one that hurts the most. You know, against Henry Clay, they lost 48-16. At that point, you kind of get over it by the third quarter. But a crushing close loss like that last week, you got to think that they're going to come out here wanting to score a lot more points.
Both these teams run the football, and then they run the football again, and then they run again. Neither team wants to be in a we've got to throw the football type of scenario. But when they have to, the Bruins rely on Jacob Hobbs. He's a 6'6" and growing junior that we've seen some flashes of brilliance out of him. He looks like a guy with some pretty good quarterback skills.
Yeah, he does, you know, and a lot of he really doesn't have to throw that much because the rushing attack is so offensive. I mean, just between Josh Valentine, Jacob Hobbs, and Chris Bellin, we're talking about a trio that combined for 939 yards and 13 touchdowns on 166 attempts. When you're running the ball that low, you really don't have to pass a lot.
One thing that we know that Jacob Hobbs isn't afraid to take off and run with the football. Sometimes, and no knock on him, sometimes it just doesn't look as elegant as when you're, say, 6 foot tall. But when you're tall, it seems like you're an easy target. And he's tough. He takes a licking in there, and we see him take 3 or 4 pops a game, and he keeps going. We haven't seen him limp off at all in the last 2 seasons. Sometimes I'm sure his coach is like, hey, slide down.
Yeah, take a dive, slide down, something. He reminds me a lot of Ben Roethlisberger, the way Ben Roethlisberger runs that very long-legged run and just doesn't like to go down before he's being tackled.
And he's a highly paid professional, and he doesn't really look that good when he does it, but he's surprisingly quick.
Surprisingly quick, and Hobbs has explosive speed. You know, he will get away from him if you're not very careful. We saw that a couple weeks ago at John Hardin. Hobbs just made a couple of cuts, and he was gone.
We've been able to read the kicks from the Bruins throughout this season. Right now, it's teed up straight up and down. I'm expecting a line drive bouncer. It doesn't have that back tilt, but, you know, I've been wrong once in a while. Orange helmets, white look, blue pants, almost like a Florida Gator look, but with a Seminole helmet logo. The Warriors of Southwestern.
Yeah, a little bit different jersey than we're used to seeing around.
Bruins, looking like Bruins. They got the powder blue going with the gray pants on. Here's the kick. It's a line drive as predicted, and that's going to be an automatic down, fielded by number 16 for Southwestern. Justin Bott for Southwestern. Their series will start at, we'll call it the 27. That looks like we're going to stick to the chains. We are underway. Like I said, both these teams running the football. Central's defense played pretty good football lately, Drew.
Yeah, they've got a very stingy defense. They're only giving up an average of 14 points per game, and just a little over 100 passing and rushing yards.
Modified pistol for Southwestern. Not a run, a toss outside. That's to 11, J.P. Vaught. J.P. Vaught's got first down yardage. 29, Drew Sawyers is the quarterback.
First down.
Or at least.
Right when you say that they're going to come out and run, they prove
Go deep!
that first pass. Just a quick pop, stand up, throw it out immediately.
Southwestern, like a few of the teams that we've seen in this area, could throw the football with a couple different guys today, so we're going to have to be on our toes figuring out who's got it and where. This is Sawyers, 29, listed as running back on the roster, if you're keeping score along with us. He's got a man in motion, takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself, just go right up the middle. He's got good athletic speed, and picks up about 7 yards on the carry. Drew, hey, nothing fancy there.
Yeah, nothing fancy. On the stop, a pickup of 6.
But you know, this Central Hardin defense is going to have to shore up that line. If they want to have a chance of winning this game, they cannot let them gash them for big yards this early in the game. 2nd
and 4, Warriors on the move. Run 2 plays, both of them for positive yardage. Sawyers has gotten 11. J.P. Vaught all the way wide outright. Sawyer just going to take a straight snap and run with it.
Edwards on the carry.
Sorry, that's Edwards. Take me a bit to learn. They got 4 and 29 there. Either one of those guys could take a direct snap.
Another first down for
all
the
the time got the
Warriors.
tackle in there. He's one of the best rushers on Central Hardin. One of the best tacklers. He's like a key part of that defense that we're going to see all night tonight.
1st and 10. Warriors are going. They got 2 guys back there. Either one of them could take a direct snap. And additionally, they've got kind of a modified wing. That's Edwards again. He runs to a bunch of Bruins. He's not going anywhere.
Pickup less than a yard.
Not
Great play by the Central Hardin defensive line, just closing the gap and shutting down a wall of defense that the running back just couldn't get through.
2nd and 10.
kind of hard to figure out who made the tackle. I believe it was Duncan, 7. And he's a name we're going to call today. He plays both that defensive end and linebacker spot. Here we go with all kinds of receivers out there. Here's a toss. Almost picked off. The deflection goes to Vaught, and it's another first down. I believe
Reception down to
it
the
is
30.
for the Warriors. Drew, that was almost a
On
turnover.
the stop.
Miller got the tackle,
Warriors
just
first down.
about got the interception on that one. But just slipped through his hands, and another nice play for Southwestern.
Sawyers. Patrick Edwards in the backfield.
Snap, he picks it up, he's going to try to make
Sawyers
something
fumbles
out of
the
the
snap.
tackle from Duncan. And he's gonna
Tries
get
to
close.
improvise. Looks like there's a flag on the play.
Flag on the play. The tackle.
I'm not sure what the flag is, but it's in the area of habeas grabus. A little bit of holding on, but they're going to huddle up on this right now.
It's usually where we see an offensive holding call, so let's find out.
See what it is, still no official signal.
An illegal block in the back that's going to go against Southwestern. And that's going to back them up a little bit after an amazing play where they dropped the snap and he was able to recover it, unlike something we might have saw against with the Chicago Bears where a snap went flying into the secondary defense.
Drew Sawyers goes for 5'8" and 160 on the roster. And you know that's always rounding up. He's not a big guy, but he's exciting. He made something out of absolutely a blown play there. We'll see what they choose to do here. Looking at about a 1st and
10 minutes
18.
to play now in the first quarter, still no score, Southwestern.
Sawyers,
46-yard line, fakes
direct
the
snap,
handoff,
throws it
looking,
outside.
got JP Vaught.
Seems like J.P. Vaught might be his favorite receiver out there. Not sure, Drew, but he's already looked for him 3 times.
Wilkerson on the tackle there. He's very a favorite receiver, but I tell you what, that was just about picked off as they went towards them. Got to watch those routes on the sideline right there. If the cornerback is there, you don't want to throw it right there. That could lead to a pick six very easily.
2nd, call it 23. Here's Sawyers. He's looking to throw again. We were talking about these teams running, but here's a screen pass. I've been calling for teams to do screen passes all season long, and somebody actually does it. But the the Bruin defense wasn't having it. A little screen, a little dump to Patrick Edwards in the flat, and good job. Who do you have on the tackle there, Drew?
I didn't get a good look at who got the tackle on that, but I tell you what, it was a gang of Bruins around him. That Central Hardin defensive front was not fooled at all by that screen.
Third and a whole bunch of yards, 22 if you're counted. As the sun sets and the lights come out into full hue, Warriors on their opening drive made something happen. They got set back with a penalty. Here's Sawyer's looking to throw. He's looking to throw deep on this one. He's got nobody. Hey, no, he's got JP Vaught.
What an amazing play. I thought for sure he had overshot everybody. What a touchdown for Southwestern.
I really thought he miscued on the receiver on the left. Vaught adjusted his route.
Just a simple little post.
Catches the football, and it's a touchdown. And just like that, they're on the field, set up to go for 2.
Yeah, Wilkerson had coverage on that, and I think he thought like we did that the ball was overthrown and out of there. And what a play, though, to adjust on that ball and get it.
Sawyer's actually adjusts into a field goal position, takes the snap, puts it down.
And Richardson
80.
nails it.
Sawyer Kress is the kicker, a junior. He kicks it through. 7-0. Drew, I would have bet on that ball being incomplete. Looked like it was going to nobody. And then JP Vaught adjusted his route, and next thing you know, he's under that football.
Yeah, no, that was pretty amazing. Like you said, we thought it was just going to nowhere. Looked like maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but what a route, what an adjustment by Vaught to get that one for the touchdown.
Heck of a football play. Those two are just juniors, so they could be connecting next year, too. We saw Vaught be targeted 4 times in that opening drive. Not a bad way to convert on 3rd and 22. Just go deep for a score. Bruins are wondering what happened. The Bruins haven't given up more than 20 points this season.
Yeah, the only time that they did give up more than 20 points was against, excuse me, I lost my notes here, South Warren.
So we were at that. It was 27-17. You're right.
Yeah.
But they just, their defense hasn't been giving up a lot of points. I'm still looking at that 0 from last week. And if we look at the ledger, 27-12, they beat John Hardin at John Hardin. They lost South Warren 27-17. They lost to Christian Academy. Louisville, that's a strong team. That's a state champion right there. 15-0.
That was in a monsoon.
Yeah, they beat Bullitt East 44-10, and then only gave up 20 to a good Northeast team. Here we go. Warriors score on their opening drive.
Keep an eye on Gavin George back there deep. If he gets his hands on the ball, he's a playmaker for the Central Hardin team.
Kick is a line drive. It bounces to one of the blocking backs. Big hit out there.
We've got a fumble.
Jars the ball free. Is that Chris Bellin on the return? Chris Bellin on the return got hit. Got his own fumble back, and Bruins dodged a bullet.
Yeah, they did. That ball came flying out and straight towards the Southwestern players. What a great play to get that ball back by the Central Hardin kicking team.
Hey, tonight's ball game is brought to you in part by E-Town Exterminating, 737-6900. Find them online at mugabug.com. Here we go. Jacob Hobbs, the tall and athletic Bruin quarterback, goes for 6'6", and they say he's still growing. Here we go. Bruins trying to answer the opening drive. They're going to keep it simple. I believe that's to Valentine.
Valentine straight up the middle. Not a lot of room there, but you keep running that play, you can wear down a defense. And I tell you, Josh Valentine, like I said, he is leading this Central Hardin rushing attack. He has 387 yards on 57 attempts and 3 touchdowns. The only person who has more touchdowns than him in rushing is Jacob Hobbs himself with 8 on the season.
Valentine, that traditional fullback type, he gets the tough yards, and we've seen him pop a couple for big games on the season. Little sweep around is Chris Bellin picking up a couple of yards. We'll see that throughout the day, Drew. I expect them to run that play to Bellin about 6-7 times today. It works. If Southwestern is not going to hold them honest, it's not going to keep them honest on that by having outside contain, they could have some good gains with that.
Yeah, they can. Bellin has 187 yards on 44 attempts this year, so he is somebody that can break it out at any moment. So you got to keep an eye on him, plus Valentine and Hobbs.
Hobbs, 3 runs. Valentine just puts his head down. I'm not sure he picked up he did pick up a first down. Second effort, it does look like he picked up enough yardage. I think he's going to get that spot. It's a first down.
Burton was able to get him down, but not before he hit that line to gain. That's going to give the Bruins a first down. And, if you can just chip away like that, as they say, 3 1/3 yards on each rush, and you're heading down the field.
3 1/3 and 1 inch get you a first down on 3 plays, right? Here's Jacob Hobbs. He hasn't thrown yet, and they like it that way. If he doesn't have to, they won't. Hobbs, guess what? He's throwing the football. Rolls out right. That's the side he can throw from, and he does. Give him 8.5 yards. As soon as we think they're done throwing, well, they can throw too.
Yeah, they can. Hobbs is not really well known for throwing. He's only 19 of 48 for 266 and 3 touchdowns this year. That sounds like a pro's one game, maybe a college player's one game, but he hasn't really had to throw all that much this season.
We've seen him be awful close to some big plays, so we're just wondering if the maturity from playing in these games that count is going to take his game to the next level, because it's just there. It's almost there. Here we go. Hobbs got a man in motion, gives it to the ball carrier around the right side. It's not going to pick up a first down, but it's going to set up a third and very short.
I believe that was Jace Chapman on the run, and he ran into just a wall of Warriors.
Warriors scored first. Bruins moving now. Both these teams have pretty decent defensively, and, they're just kind of keeping it simple. We said that they don't throw, but it was a big touchdown pass for Southwestern that got them on the board first. Let's see if Central's got a pass coming up soon. I doubt it here. They just need a yard. I would bet on Valentine getting this. Guess what? It's Valentine. He's hit by an interior lineman, and I'm not sure where they're going to spot this football. And fourth and inches.
Yeah. Burton had a lot of great penetration on that play on the initial run, and that's going to bring him up just short. But, on this side of the field, you're that close. I don't think you want to punt at this point. You just want to go for it. It's 4th and 1. At this point, they're close enough that he could lean over.
This is what Josh Valentine does. Josh Valentine picks up a lot of 2 and 3 yard gains. We've also seen Hobbs do a lot of quarterback sneaking. Timeout Bruins. They didn't like the look.
So while we got a timeout, DeSales is now leading North Hardin 7-0 following Carlos Ordway's 18-yard touchdown. 7:58 left in the first quarter.
Thanks to our friends at the News Enterprise for tweeting the scores as they happen. Thanks, Drew, for the update. I got a moment, too, to thank eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. You can take a virtual tour of what they have available at eTownApartments.com. Also, Bluegrass Cellular, offering the most affordable unlimited plan anywhere where wireless works. Visit them online at bluegrasscellular.com. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. They have locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, Brandenburg, Bardstown, and Louisville. Find them online at physicaltherapyky.com. Drew, 4th, and let's call it a foot. How about that?
Yeah, 4th and not very long. Like I said earlier, pretty much Hobbs could just lean over.
The 6'6 quarterback, we've seen him quarterback sneak a few times this season. Can't call a timeout here. He's going to set his team backwards. Instead, pitch outside. Nobody thinking about that. He got upended, and depending on where this is spotted, I believe he picked up the first down. But
yeah, that was Gavin George on the reverse, and I believe he might have got there.
I like the idea. I like the idea, Drew, because you think that maybe everybody's ganging up in the middle, and you might have an opportunity to break something big on a 4th and an inch play. On the other hand, the critics of such a play say you're going a long way to pick up a foot. They're bringing out the chains. I like the play call because if it springs him open, and guess what? He didn't get a favorable spot. It actually looks like he lost yardage on the play, and I'm not sure that's how I saw it. But, Drew, that's turnover and downs, and they did not answer the opening drive of Southwest.
Yeah, tell you what, that's a nice play by their defense to stop them just short, and now the Bruins defense has to answer. They're down 7-0 right now. They've just given the ball back. Let's see how they answer.
You know, Southwestern made a heck of a defensive stop on that play, and that could be a play we're talking about at the end of this football game. It could be a decision maker. Here we go. Patrick Evans around the left, and he's got no resistance, and he's just going to take this one to the house.
Yeah, he is gone.
Touchdown. Took one play, 58 yards for the score. Patrick Evans of Southwestern. And now they're up 13-0. So a decision to go for it on fourth down didn't work out. I would have gone for it there every day of the year in that situation. But you not only went from not answering the opening drive, but now you're down 2 scores. Not quite panic time, Drew, but Central's got to get it together.
Yeah, not exactly how they drew up the start of this game. And I tell you what, you've got to be careful. You can't just start getting behind on these. The defense has got to start playing. They've got to start keying in on these runners because this can get out of hand very quickly.
80 the kicker. Sawyer Kress. Boot is up and good. The young man seems like he's got a pretty good leg because he had a few yards to spare on that one.
So your Central Hardin, you're now down 14-0. Your offense has got to come out here and answer because when you're playing a team that specializes in rushing, they're just going to kill the clock once they're up, especially once they're up by 2 scores.
Of the teams in the area, Central isn't the team that I think of when we're talking about a team that could explode on you offensively. They got to do it almost with defensive stops and some turnovers to set up short fields for them. But it's going to be up to Jacob Hobbs and company to make something happen. It's also important we don't see them panic. The last time that I saw them fall behind early was against a good South Warren team, and they kind of just got out of their game. They just tried to throw the football a little more than they're comfortable with against a really good pass defense. And that set up some really good runs for Josh Valentine statistically, but that's really not how Central Hardin wants to play football. They want to run the ball for 3.5 yards, and maybe 5.
Yeah, and you know, one of my keys to the game for Southwestern was score early, score often. Central Hardin's 4-1 when giving up 20 points or fewer. The only time they lost was in the monsoon against Christian Academy of Louisville.
That was a tough football game against a tough team where this field looks great today, but, man, that was a hot mess. Here we go, Southwest to kick it off. And it's a bouncer. That's going to be fielded short by one of the upbacks. Going to set up Central at about the 38.
I'll tell you what, Central Hardin got another break there because he started to lose that one and then dove down on top of it.
On the year, Central Hardin came in here with 1,434 rushing yards in 6 games. Jacob Hobbs, 65 of those attempts, 365 yards, 8 TDs. He hasn't run the ball yet, and I expect him to pick up a first down with his feet sometime soon. Let's see how they play this. They don't have to panic. They just need to get some points on this drive, and everything's fine. Hobbs going to be under center here. Hey, keep it real. Gives it to George. George picks up a couple of yards. This front for Southwestern, I'm going to get to know their names, but they're playing good football, Drew, and I think if you're asking who's winning that battle up front, it's the guys in white.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Gregory, again, just great wrap up, bring them down straight to the ground. They're not letting Central Hardin, they're not trying to arm tackle, they're not trying to just grab them and pull them down. They're wrapping them up and bringing them down, and I tell you what, that's the key against the Central Hardin team.
Give him 3, 2nd down and 7 on the scoreboard. Hobbs under center. We've seen him mostly in the pistol throughout the season. He's going to probably be in the pistol or shotgun on the next play as one of his linemen picked up his hand. You can't do that.
Yeah, can't do that. That's going to be an illegal procedure every time. You know, one of my keys to the game for Southwestern, I mentioned score early, score often. My other one, hold the line. Central Hardin is 0-2 when rushing for less than 200 yards. 196 yards against South Warren. They lost that one 27-17, and 97 against Christian Academy of Louisville in that monsoon game when they lost 15-0.
Hobbs under center. Rolling out, left side. He's got a receiver wide open, but keeps it, and he's got some yards, too. Check it out. He disses a couple tacklers. He's still going. Up the sidelines, the junior picks up great yards and a first down.
Tell you what, I just mentioned that earlier, the explosiveness of Jacob Hobbs. Sawyer gets him down finally, but not before Central Hardin picks up enough for the first down, enough for another first down, and possibly enough for a third first down. What a great play by Jacob Hobbs.
The kid's deceptively fast. You think that a guy that's 6'6", 6'7" can't run, and that's just not the case with him. When he decides that's what he's going to do, he does it, and he's picked up a bunch of yards, 8 touchdowns on the season. Here's Hobbs, man in motion. Gives it off. This is George again. George gets grabbed by the shoulder pad and taken backward. That was nothing but strength right there. Give whoever number 15 is.
Cameron Miller with the stop, but yeah, he got grabbed by the back of his jersey and wrenched down. Blake Lehman on the grab. That was all jersey.
Number 8, Blake Lanham just got a handful of jersey and yanked it back. And George had a head of steam there. He was going forward and then all of a sudden went backward in a hurry. That's just a strength play. There's nothing illegal about that. The fans didn't like it. They weren't sure what they were watching. You don't see that often. Here we go. Hobbs, after pretty much a no game on that play, rolls right. He's got a receiver open. Doesn't see him right now. He's just going to run. And instead zips it down the field a little too high and a little too hot for his intended receiver.
Yeah, I think he was looking for Page on the sideline there and just a little too high and hot. But when you've got 2 defenders closing like that, you've got to kind of throw it hot in there. Otherwise, they have a chance to intercept it. So good attempt, though, by Hobbs.
He kept the play alive and still gave it some hope as a passing play. I thought he was going to take off and run again, but instead of going out of bounds and cutting his losses, he was going to try to hook up there. I think that's one of those cases where you got a 6'6" guy throwing to a guy that's 5'8" on the roster. Here we go. Hobbs on a pass play instead gives it to George. Nope, keeps it himself. Not a big gain. Going to set up 4th and 5. Definitely not punting territory, down 2.
Wilson with a great wrap-up and tackle on Hobbs. He was not fooled by that jet sweep motion, which is something you have to be watching for because they could hand it off to George there, and George gets a head of steam behind him. He's gone.
Keep an eye on number 3, Gavin George. He's the guy that Hobbs is probably going to try to connect with here. We've seen the Bruins try to go deep on these 4th down situations earlier in the season. So here's George in motion. Watch him, 3. And he's on the right side. Goes out in a flood. He's got a little bit of distance. He's under pressure. Hobbs has to get rid of it. And there's a flag on the play.
And I believe they're going to get him for intentional grounding.
No flag.
Okay, they're picking up the flag, so no flag on that play.
I was going to say, there was definitely a receiver over there, and he was under duress, so I wouldn't have thrown that flag personally, but nonetheless, it's not a complete pass. It's an incomplete pass. And for the second of 2 series, Drew, the Bruins have made it across their logo, but come away with a turnover and downs.
Yeah, I tell you what, this Central Hardin Bruin offense is just having trouble. Once they get into the plus territory, that Southwestern defense stiffens up.
You've heard of Tripp's right. This is Tripp's far right. They've got a whole bunch of Bruins over there to the left. Here we go. Sawyer's just going to run with it. Takes a snap, runs left, picks up a good gain, and has all first down.
Yeah, what a great play out to the left like that. And you set it up like that with the Trips right. Everybody's keying in on the right side. They're not expecting a draw off to the left. Valentine, you'll hear his name a lot tonight on tackles and running, and he made the tackle on that, but not before they picked up a first down.
It almost sets up 8-man football. You throw 3 guys on the far side of the field that people got to keep an eye on, but then you're saying, hey, our 8 guys with the football can take on your 8 guys on defense. Somebody on Central's got to make a play here. Here's Sawyer, and to give it to Edwards. Edwards just seems to be impervious to being tackled, Drew.
I tell you what, he is shifty and fast, and once he gets some open field, he is electric. And what a great play.
He cut through the line there and got no resistance whatsoever.
Chapman and Wilkerson finally got him down, but again, by that point, he was well into the secondary, already had the first down. The Central Hardin Bruin defense is not being as stingy as we expected them to be tonight.
Hats off to this Southwestern team. Boy, they've got some good looks here. Instead, they got the Trips out far left. They got a receiver out right, too, and there we go. Sawyer just going to run with it.
Sawyer's got another big gap. He's got another first down, I believe. Out of bounds here just on the near side, right around the 20-yard line.
So when you see a team come out with these formations, what they're trying to do is set up a numbers game, and they like a matchup. Obviously, a team likes a matchup to one side or the other, and they're just going to keep it simple. They're just going to snap the ball to one of their athletic guys and let them run the football.
Bellin, again, another rusher that we're going to hear a lot on defense. He was able to force him out, but again, not before he got that first down. They're just picking up chunks of yards.
Here we go. Sawyer gives it to Edwards, and Edwards takes a pop.
I tell you what, Deontay Duncan just popped him as he was coming. Valentine set him up, and Duncan popped him, and what a great play. They finally get a little bit of a stop. It looks like we're going to go to the quarter break here.
Final seconds of the first quarter. The visitors from Pulaski County Southwestern, the Warriors, lead this one 14-0. Today's broadcast is a Hardin County Educational Community Television student production, HCEC-TV, brought to you in part by Brandenburg Telecom, also Physical Therapy Associates, eTownApartments.com, Bluegrass Cellular, eTown Exterminating, and West Point Bank. Drew Bernardi is with me today. John Schartzer could not make it. He's with us in spirit. But we got Jesse Bird with us today. Jesse Bird, you won't hear him, but he's helping out the broadcast. Jesse played on this field. It's kind of interesting taking a look at it from this perspective. He used to out there being in the grass.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's definitely a different feel than being out there, but being up in the press box is what I'm used to. But he's up here helping us spot, and we appreciate him very much because sometimes, from our vantage point, it's a little bit hard to see those numbers when they get on that far side of the field.
Central Hardin having a little trouble defensively. We kind of maybe, if we thought that we were going to see either of these teams be defensive, it'd be the Bruins at home. That's not what's happening right now. I like what Southwestern's doing, Drew. They're playing a numbers game where they're putting 4 receivers out, so they're basically setting up a 7-on-7 matchup. But if Central Hardin doesn't play it right, it becomes essentially a 7-on-6 in favor of the offense. Sawyer snaps, gives it to Edwards.
Edwards again with another good rush, another first down. Duncan got him on that tackle. But the Bruins are just not stopping the run at all, and that's not something they can afford to just let happen.
At some point in time, your defensive coordinator's got to make an adjustment because you see what's happening here. They're taking some of the athletes completely out of the play and going as wide as possible with wide receivers. Problem is, if you don't put a receiver on those guys, they just audible and throw it to them. Here's Sawyer, just takes a snap, nothing fancy there, runs into a Bruin, though, didn't pick up big yards.
Yeah, another great tackle by the Bruins. I think that was Connor Mann on the tackle. We've said his name a couple times. Zach Jones in there on that tackle as well. But you know what? This is when they need to stiffen up. They need to stop them because you cannot go down 21-0 in the first half.
Another name that we'll be saying today is Dylan Jenneret. He was in on that tackle, and 52 is a big guy, and he makes the big plays. Let's see if he can come up with one here defensively. Sawyer takes a snap, just runs to the right. There's all kinds of room over there, and he's going to dance in. Oh!
He is very close.
He was really close to the end zone. I don't think he got it.
No, I think they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 1-yard line. But what a great play again. Got him out in space. Wilkerson was able to force him out and keep him short of the goal line, but now their goal to go. The Bruins again just struggling to stop.
3rd and 1. We've seen Edwards get great yardage without a whole lot of contact. One has to think if he'll get the football here. No, it's just old school. Quarterback sneak, and he runs into a bunch of Bruins.
Yeah, he ran into a blue wall trying to get through there up the middle, and he's going to be well short of the goal line.
He has been involved in nearly every tackle tonight.
It's Deontay Duncan. Jenneret was in there.
Follett was in there as well.
4th down.
So now the coin flips at Southwestern with a 4th and 1. And you got to wonder, are they going to go with Edwards? Are they going to go with Sawyer? How are they going to play this?
Well, the quarterback sneak didn't work. You might try it again, but Edwards has seemed to have a lot of success getting through this line. Now, quarterback sneak again. Races left, dives forward, and the linesman says yes. The referee there doesn't. And it's a touchdown.
For the touchdown.
Yeah, and to tell you what, that's just heartbreaking for the Bruins. Now you're down 3 scores already, and we're not even to halftime. The Bruins have got to change something, whether that be they need to go passing on offense to try to pick up some points, or whether they've got to just blitz all night with this defense. I tell you, they've got to do something.
The little quarterback for Southwest comes out big. He just picked where he wanted to run to and did. Picked up the yard he needed for 6 more points. And, yeah, you're right. This is getting out of hand.
Trying to see what the plan is here. Looks like Sawyers might try
Doesn't look like they are
They
setting up
will.
for a kick.
It's going to be to Austin Barnes.
They snap it to the up back, 45.
Austin Barnes.
I think they wanted to pick up a 22-point gap on this one.
Barnes on the carry.
Duncan and Elmore were able to stop that 2-point conversion. Good job sniffing it out. They've been lining up like that all night long, but then they clap their hands and they're back into field goal formation. So it was interesting to see them not do that.
Southwest throwing some looks at the Bruins. I don't think that Central's got answers for right now. And they're just setting up these numbers games where they're running trips far right and saying, okay, we're just going to take these 3 guys out of the football game. Now, if you're Central, you got to kind of maybe cheat in a little bit and respect those guys over there and react to him if he's going to throw all the way across the field. Now, I don't think, and this is just the coach in me, I don't think a guy that's rocking 5'6" and 160 pounds is going to throw the ball with a whole lot of zip all the way across the field. So defensively, I'd probably cheat in a little bit more toward the line of scrimmage and where that action is, and maybe we can take away one side of the football field and make him have to go one way or another. But right now, Southwest having their way with this Bruin team.
Yeah, they're just running all over them, and the Bruins just don't have an answer.
Southwestern's got a kicking game. We've seen this kid kick. And just look how the ball is lined up on the tee. When it's got a little bit of an angle back, we expect a deeper kick. I could be wrong, but let's watch how this plays out. A line drive. It's going to bounce out of bounds. So the Bruins.
While we got a moment, got a couple of score updates for you. Louisville Western is leading John Hardin 8-0 with 4:11 left in the first quarter. As well as DeSales is leading North Hardin 14-0, 3:25 left in the first quarter. Our score is brought to us by the News Enterprise on Twitter at DNE Sports. Big thanks to them for updating the scores as the night goes on.
Turned out to be a halfway decent defensive play. You don't have George returning the kickoff, and the Bruins start at the 35, down 20. It's a little early in the game to panic. Things happen. We've watched some wild ones this season, but Central needs to come away with some points on this drive.
Yeah, that's key on this drive, is to come away with some points.
Here's Hobbs. Gives it inside. I think that's Duncan with the carry.
Yeah, Deontay Duncan, he's got about 5 on that, which is not a bad run. But you got to wonder, Gregory got the initial hit, but you got to wonder, you've got to put it in the hands of somebody who can make a play. Duncan is more of a hard-nosed, slow runner who's going to pound through for a lot of yards. You got to wonder if you want to put it in the hands of a playmaker there.
Hobbs can throw the football, and you got to wonder at one of these times if they're not going to see a man coverage and take a shot at George going deep. Here's Hobbs, kind of a modified pistol here. He's going to fake the give to Duncan. He's going to keep it himself and pick up a first down. Nice game.
Yeah, very nice. Good. Strunk on the tackle, was able to bring him out of bounds, and I tell you what.
How about that spot?
Yeah, that's a pretty favorable spot for the Bruins. I believe he may have stepped out before that, but I still think he got the first
I think
down.
they would have liked that yard at another play earlier, but this one doesn't help them too much. Either way, that would have set up a very manageable third and short, but still, I think he got a bonus yard and a half on that one. Here's Hobbs. He's got a man in motion. He's going to fake the give and keep it right up the middle. Takes a pop from Edwards.
Hobbs on the carry.
Straight up the middle again, and that's going to set up a very manageable second down for this Bruins offense. Hobbs walking a little gingerly, though, as he comes over the sideline to get the play.
Well, you know, when your quarterback's taking pops like that, that adds up. And I told you, I think he would run the ball 6 to 8 times today. You don't want him to run any more than that because he doesn't go down easy. He's taking those hits right in the midriff, and that's not where you want your quarterback taking shots.
Yeah, I think he's a little stung from that one right in the back.
2nd and 4, we've seen the Bruins throw out of this situation. And Hobbs fakes and keeps it. I guess he wants to take another hit.
Yeah, sometimes that second hit is just enough to make the first one stop hurting. Another great carry, and he's going to be very, very close to a first down.
He's going to want to take a hot shower when this one's over. Sometimes a little bit of gamesmanship, too. You know you're going to run the football on the next play, so you might as well act like you're hurt, and nobody's going to think that you're carrying the ball.
Very true on that one, and he did. He faked it perfectly, ran straight up the middle, just about got himself a first down on that play.
Here we go. Hobbs and Bruins on the move. Their first 2 drives, they've fizzled to nothing. Let's see if they can pick something up. Wilkerson loses yards on that carry. That third one play is going to set up a 4th and 3.
Yeah, Bach got in there and got him wrapped up as he was coming over. You got to wonder if straight up the middle wasn't a better option right there than trying to run it out wide to the left side.
This is usually where we see Josh Valentine pick up 4 when they need 3. I don't expect them to throw the football here, but I've been wrong all season long when I say that he's not going to throw the football.
They are coming out in the shotgun with some receivers split out.
Hobbs going to take the snap. What do you know? He's throwing and overthrows.
It's going to be incomplete, but it's still going to be a turnover and down.
It was 4th down, and he overshot his receiver. He went way tall for his shorter receiver. A nice defensive play, really close to being picked off, but that's the 3rd time in a row the Bruins have moved the football past midfield and been stopped on down.
Yeah, they sputter out as soon as they get across midfield, so you've got to wonder if they're going to make some adjustments at halftime, but I tell you, they need to make some adjustments on defense to make sure that they don't go into halftime down 4 scores.
Some more of the same here. We've got 4 receivers for Southwest, spread out. Setting up that run game inside. Direct snap. This is to Sawyer. Pump fakes, goes deep, has a receiver wide open. And
what a catch.
That's JP Vaught with another catch. And this kid's making some plays tonight. He had steps on the he had steps on George over there, Wilkerson. And I thought he was gonna catch that on the run and take off, but the slower throw, Drew caught up with him a little bit. Wilkerson made a heck of a play.
Yeah, that's twice he's burned Wilkerson in man coverage. And I tell you what, if that ball's just thrown a little bit harder, a little bit farther, he takes that to the house.
Sawyer's in the shotgun. Edwards back there once again.
Here's Sawyer. Just goes to Edwards, and the Bruins are hitting to that. They bring him down. Guess who? It's Deontay Duncan. We're going to say his name again. He's going to have double-digit tackles.
Yeah, big Deontay Duncan shut him down coming through there. But, I mean, at this point, if you're Southwestern, just run that same play again.
I'm really enjoying the execution of what Southwest is doing on the offensive side of the football. This is incredibly methodical here. And now, look at this. Look at this formation. Who's going to get the snap? It goes to Sawyer. It's a give inside.
Coming along the left side.
It's 45. Austin Barnes gets taken down by 9.
Evan George got the tackle on that, I believe.
Taylon Ferris with the tackle.
Ferris.
Austin Barnes, the carrier.
We've got a score update. Tyler Durbin scores from 24 yards out on a pass to Noah Peeler. Elizabethtown leads Hart County 7-0. 10:22 left in the first quarter. Thanks again to the News Enterprise Sports. And another one, end of the first quarter, DeSales leads North Hardin 21-0.
I'm going to go ahead and call it for E-Town against Hart County in that one. That's just a couple of teams that are going in different directions. Here we go. Sawyer scrambles right, throws for the end zone. He's got a man wide open. It's a touchdown. True, we got one team that's playing really good football tonight and another team that doesn't have any points.
Lanham gets it, and that, tell you what, wow, this is getting out of hand quickly. Already up 26-0. Southwestern, they can do whatever they want. If they want to run it, they can run it. If they want to pass it, they can pass it. Little to no resistance from the Central Hardin Bruins tonight.
Here comes the shift. You don't ever know if they're going to kick or run the football or throw the football. They're going to kick this one. The last time didn't work.
You did see the swinging gate for me.
The snap, a one hopper, but it's put down. It's up through 27-0. Drew, I didn't see this one coming.
I didn't either, to be perfectly honest with you, David. I mean, you're talking about a Bruin defense that the last time they gave up this many points, it was in an entire game, not in and a half.
This is as many points as they give up to a really good South Warren team. And we got a lot of football left to play in this, so something's got to change. Bruins also going to have a little bit of sense of urgency here. And now, I hate to hit that panic button ever in the first half, but I'll tell you what, where's the button?
Yeah, it's gone from it is not the time to panic to it is now time to panic. The Bruins haven't been running very well. Like I said, they're 0-2 when rushing for less than 200 yards. They run, they get across midfield, and Southwestern says, that's enough of that.
We've seen Hobbs roll out, throw the football, throw it high. And the coach has got to talk to him a little bit. Settle down, young man. Just throw that in there. Connect with the receiver. He's got guys that are open.
Well, my third key to Southwestern's game was make them pass. Hobbs has 39% completion on the season, and those high passes have been the bane of his existence.
I'll tell you what, I'm having fun watching Drew Sawyers play football. I mentioned him being 5'7", 5'6" earlier. 5'8", 160 on the roster. That usually means a roundup on one of those things, either weight or height. And he's thrown the football deep twice with success today. And those two guys are juniors. They could be putting up some yards here for years to come.
It's going to be taken to the 25, run out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Hopping short kick.
Moore got it, but I tell you, this Bruin offense has got to put something together. You know, we said that last drive that they had to put points on the board. It's do or die time. You've got to put points on the board on this drive, or you can kiss this game goodbye.
Yeah, and I don't think having your junior quarterback running the football is the end-all answer to things. I think he's improvised on a couple of those, picked up some yards, but I don't think that's going to be the way that they get back in this football game offensively. Here we go, Hobbs under center. Hands off to Chris Bellin. Chris Bellin runs into 60 and 25.
Josh Williams and Cody Pierce, or Price, excuse me, both on the tackle. And I tell you this, like we said, the South Warren defense not letting the Bruins get anything done. The Southwestern.
I haven't mentioned Luke Gregory on that line there, and you know he only goes for 5'10" on the roster, but he's playing a lot bigger. That's 58 in the middle of the field. If you're watching him, focus on him a little bit. He looks like a bigger player on the field, and he's knocking guys down. 260 though, 260. So he's not going easy. Hobbs, after a short gain, throwing the football, zips it in there and misses.
Yeah, it was a great pass. I mean, just a great pass design, looking for Chris Bellin, but just a little too much zip on that, a little too much mustard on that one. Just right through the hands of Chris Bellin.
Southwestern dialing up a little bit of a safety blitz there. Might have made Hobbs release the ball a little bit earlier, but he's got to calm down.
Yeah, he does. And I tell you what, if that pass is thrown a little bit better, you don't know. Bellin really could have broken that one out on that slant, but there's a little too much heat on that throw.
Here we go. Hobbs got the snap, looking to throw again. He's in trouble. Escapes the pressure. Rolls left, looking for somebody that's open. Goes deep. He's got a wide open receiver that can't hang on.
That was so close. That was right to Noah Page. Page was wide open at the 35-yard line, and he could have taken that to the house. And once again, just a little too much heat on the throw by Jacob Hobbs.
Noah Page just couldn't grab that, and we've been picking on Hobbs a little bit with missing these throws. That one was right on the money. Sometimes you see a guy get open like that because the play takes a little bit longer to develop. Hobbs did a great job of staying upright. He was under duress, corks off a nice throw, and when it hits your hands, you're supposed to catch it, is what they say.
Yeah.
I don't know when that starts. They definitely say that in the pros and college. I think in high school they tell you that too.
Yeah, I mean that's just one that that's one that he's gonna wish he had back.
Essentially, Antonio Gates running downfield.
Here we go. They're going to kick it. Hobbs can kick. He does a bunch of stuff here for this team. Nice boot. A wobbler goes toward the sideline.
They'll bounce out at just this side of the 40-yard line. Maybe the
Turns out to be about a 26-yard punt, but it looked better than it was.
another score update. Donovan Husky goes in on from 14 yards out. Elizabethtown leads Hart County 14-0. 8:39 left in the first quarter.
Last week we were talking about Elizabethtown High, and they had scored touchdowns on 5 of the 7 offensive plays they ran, which that's just crazy. And we might be talking about some of that today too in Munfordville.
Yeah, they are.
Are they playing there or are they playing here?
Let me double check on that for you.
All right, so here we go. Southwestern just came in here and decided they were winning this football game. There's a lot of game left, but here's Edwards with another big run that might be adding some yards to it. He took a pop on the sidelines.
Flag on the play.
Yeah.
Flag back at the 43.
Well, the flag, we got a flag back at the 33, and that is in the area of a hold, and it is.
Duncan on the tackle.
Bring that one back. No late hit or anything on that. Looked like he was out of bounds, but he took some contact.
He got tackled 2 yards out of bounds. Should have been flagged there, too.
Looked like Edwards was already part of the Central Hardin bench, and
Lawler's heading towards the Central Hardin bench.
Here we go. 1st and 16 is what this is going to set up. That's just going to back up the first down play for Southwestern. I'm sure if they had their way, they'd like to take away all this first half clock and score again.
Sawyer's in the shotgun.
Sawyer's looking to throw. Not even a fake here. Setting up a little wide receiver screen. Vaught takes a short catch, and guess what? Made a big gain out of it. It's going to be a foot race. I think this one's coming back, though.
Yeah, I think this one's coming back, but what a play by Vaught. A lot of cuts, a lot of movement, but might be all for naught as we've got Laundry on the field.
Well, that's going to look good on film. I'll tell you what, they can take that away and put it as part of this highlight film and maybe edit out the whole flag stuff, but that's about all the value he's going to get in this one. I like the play call there. He had some success going deep earlier, and so why not hide him behind some blockers? And, Drew, we were talking about how they separate out 3 receivers to one side or the other. You got to throw it over there once in a while or people aren't going to take you serious.
Yeah, you do. You know, if you're going to line up that same thing, you've got to be able to move out of it, and you got to be able to actually run other plays out of it. A personal foul on Southwestern. It's going to back them up again. They're going to have first in the state of Montana, I believe, on this next play.
First in a whole bunch. Here we go. Southwestern not too worried about it. Works kind of into their favor. They're trying to knock away all the clock in the first half and take a big halftime lead into the locker room.
First down and 30, but I don't doubt that they can pick up that entire 30 on one play.
Here's Sawyer. Fakes a give right up the middle. Guess what? They get a chunk of it back. They're going to be Edwards again. He made it look easy.
Valentine, I believe, is on the tackle, but again, just picked up a chunk of it.
It's bad when you
now
pick up
second and
15 yards,
18.
you still got 2nd and 18.
Yeah, 15 yards, still got 2nd and 18, but I mean, they got almost half of that back on the first play.
Southwestern will take it. Here we go. Sawyer with 2 bigger guys on either side of him could hand it off. Instead, fakes the first give, gives it to the second guy, to the fullback. That's 45. Barnes gets a bunch of yards back.
He's all the way back to the original line of scrimmage.
And here's where Central needs to bear down, no pun intended, and make a defensive play. You cannot allow a first down here. When it's an indicator that you're broken if you had a 1st and like 40 and allow a team to convert on your home field. Here we go. A little foot thunder going on by the crowd. They're getting into it. We hadn't heard a noise or a peep from them this game. Now they're getting a little bit into it. Sawyer double fake, rolls left. He's got a receiver open, throws off the back foot, can't connect.
Yeah, just a little bit underthrown on that one. He was for
Lanham, who's
Yeah.
caught the touchdown earlier.
he was looking for Lanham and just a hair underthrown, and he still almost wrangled that play in.
They're not going to be going for it from their own side of the field with a 27-point lead and 2.5 points or 2.5 minutes to go. I fully expect a punt here. Gavin George is going to be back, and he's a guy that can take one to the house. We've seen him with some big returns this season. Southwestern just about picked up that conversion drill. Here's a line drive to George. He's going to have an opportunity to do something. Good coverage by the Warriors, and everybody's in on that one. Not only does he not get a big return, but that's going to go back 10 yards for an illegal block by the Bruins. And, there's still football time left in this. You can't hang your head down. I'll say it again. The Bruins got to come away with some points. Their defense, for the first time today, made a stop.
Yeah, they did, and that's something we've been wanting to see from the Bruins, but already moving in the wrong direction on offense. Brought on with a good tackle of Gavin George, who's an explosive player. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Bruins respond, even though they're gonna get backed up a little bit. Got another score update for you. 8:16 left until halftime. DeSales leads North Hardin 28-0. Goodness. Once again, thanks to the News Enterprise at the NE Sports on Twitter for the live score updates.
Into the first quarter, and Somerset and Grayson 3-0 Somerset.
Here we go. Hobbs takes the snap, keeps it simple, give it up the middle. That is to Valentine, the fullback.
Valentine on the carry.
The score
Miller.
doesn't really play into Valentine getting a bunch of carries right now. He's the guy that picks up 3 and 4 and 5. I'm sure he's still going to get a couple, but he's not the guy. We saw him pick up a bunch of yards in that South Warren game where it was kind of, they needed to pass, and South Warren defended a little heavy toward the pass. Valentine can pop you for a big gain up the middle, but it's going to be Hobbs throwing the football a lot here. Here's Duncan, the big bruising back. Puts his head down, gets a first down for the Bruins on willpower alone.
Yeah, he got the first down on that second effort, basically stumbled into a first down backwards. But you got to wonder, why are you going with the big bruisers, the big fullback type runners? You got less than 2 minutes to go before the end of the half. Might want to try to take a couple shots downfield.
Warrior player down on the field. Take an opportunity to talk about West Point Bank. They have 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. You can find them online, too, at westpointbank.com. Let them help you make life simpler. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple.
Score update, Louisville Western leads John Hardin 23-0, 2:32 left before the half.
Hobbs with a bunch of running backs. I expected to see him maybe with a bunch of receivers. But the inside give is to Gavin George. Oh, it's Ferris. Talon Ferris, 9.
Ferris on the carry.
Hubbard is able to get Ferris down after a very, very short gain, if he got anything at all on that play. Again, if it's just about a yard, that's not how you want to try to move down the field with less than a minute now left to go.
I know the passing game's not working. You don't want to give up on a turnover on downs, but you got to kind of move a little quicker down the field than 3 and 4 yard gains. I'm curious to see when the pass play is going to happen here. Here it is. Hobbs draws back, zips one in, and there's a pop.
We've got a couple flags on this play. They just came in flying from both sides.
Pass is complete for 14 yards. Keep in mind that defensive pass interference is a 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, so they'll probably decline this foul. It's not going to be an add-on foul. There's nothing wrong with the tackles that we had. If this is a defensive pass interference call, there's no advantage to
and the Bruins are already coming out. They're ready to go. And a personal foul.
Personal foul targeting against.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna agree with that call, Drew. I just didn't feel there was any malice on that play. That looked like a couple of guys going for a defensive play.
To the Bruin 39.
And I think in our new world of safety that sometimes we're a little overzealous to come up. But it works in the Bruins' favor. They're moving the football, and they're trying to get some points before the end of the half. Here we go. Hobbs rolling out. He had a receiver and took a little off it. Edwards made a nice defensive play.
Yeah, nice defensive play. Valentine had a couple steps on him, but was able to shore up as he came around on that rollout to the right. A nice throw by Jacob Hobbs, but again, just a little off target. That seems to be the theme of the night for Jacob Hobbs, just a little off target.
Edwards has impressed on defense. He's been around the football, both stopping runs and defending against the pass. Having a nice football game today. Here we go. Hobbs has got a receiver wide right. He's not looking at him. Looks left, stays to the left. He's going to have to roll right, however, so let's see who's open that way. Hobbs with a little wrist flick, goes deep, and it's just a big, long interception.
Yeah, that might as well have been a punt. Just nobody even in the area for Hobbs.
Little quarterback to quarterback toss there. That was Sawyers with the interception for Southwestern. And Hobbs tried to make a big play happen late in the period. I don't blame him for taking a shot. It just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, you can't blame a guy for taking a shot like that. But there was just nobody out there except for Sawyer.
I know some people watching are like, hey, you ended up in the end zone. Well, when you make an interception and your momentum carries you in there, it's where you catch the ball. So they're going to get the football at the 1. He's probably going to quarterback sneak up out of there. He does. And that'll probably be the last play of the period. It is. Central Hardin, don't think they're taking any timeouts. They're not. The visiting Warriors, 27. The hometown Central Hardin Bruins, 0. We'll be back with 3 minutes before this second half begins. There's an extended halftime. We're going to have some special entertainment for you. We'll be carrying that live. For Drew, I'm David Gary. We'll join you when the play resumes.
Are the dots good?
Took me a little bit to get used to it.
Oh yeah,
It was the hardest part was just their binoculars.
Yeah.
We got bars.
Is this team always this sharp like this?
My mom texted me and said it's playing music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you will please direct your attention to the 40-yard line. At this time, we would like to introduce the 2017 Central Hardin Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. Each of these individuals brings with them a great deal of Bruin history and pride. Our first inductee is Joe Barrow. Joe is a 2004 graduate of Central Hardin and the son of David and Deborah Barrow of Elizabethtown. While attending Central Hardin, he was an outstanding student athlete in football, wrestling, track and field, lettering, and all 3 sports. He was honored with both first team All-Area and All-District for football, as well as being awarded Defensive Player of the Year, Big Hitter of the Year in 2003. Joe is also a member of the Elite Ultra Bruin Club. In addition to his football and track success, Joe was an outstanding high school wrestler, placing 5th at the state championship in 2002, 3rd in 2003, and winning the prestigious title of state championship in 2004. Joe was also region champion each of these years. He was also awarded the Fox 41 Student Athlete of the Week, All-State Academic Recipient, 4th and 3rd place finisher in the state weightlifting competition in 2003 and 4 respectively. He was voted most athletic male and senior homecoming king by the class of 2004. Upon graduation from Central Hardin, Joe attended Georgetown College on a football scholarship, graduating in 2008 with a degree in kinesiology and psychology. At Georgetown, he was awarded the titles of All-American, Mid-South Conference, All-Conference, and Mid-South Defensive Player of the Week. He was also voted Most Dependable Defensive Lineman in 2006, Most Improved Defensive Player in 2007, and Student Athlete of the Week. Joe currently resides in Louisville with his wife Ashley, where he's a Louisville Metro firefighter at Truck 4, Engine 22. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Barrow.
Our second inductee is Julie Jefferson Ferguson. Julie Jeffries Ferguson is a 1994 graduate of Central Hardin. Julie is a 3-year starter for the Lady Bruins basketball team from 91 to 1994. Was voted 5th Region Player of the Year, All-Region Team, All-District Team 3 straight times by the 5th Region coaches. She was also named News Enterprise Sophomore of the Year and News Enterprise Player of the Year twice. She was 3 times either honorable mention or second team Kentucky All-Star and All-State team. Julie continued her basketball career at Campbellsville University, where her Lady Tigers won 4 consecutive championship titles, enabling her to play in the NAI National Tournament 4 consecutive years. During those 4 years, Campbellsville made it to the Elite 8 twice. Upon graduation, Julie finished her college career as the number 4 all-time leading scorer with 1,810 points, the number 2 all-time field goal percentage, the number 6 all-time rebound, number 9 all-time free throw percentage, and number 10 all-time steals. She was also named a member of the All-Conference team, Conference Player of the Year, Kodak All-American team, and the NAIA All-American. Julie majored in chemistry and biology at Campbellsville, received her master's degree in chemistry from Western Kentucky University. She has been employed by Kentucky State Police Forensic Lab for the last 12 years and is currently at the Jefferson Laboratory Branch in Louisville as a forensic laboratory supervisor. She is also a breast cancer survivor. Julie, daughter of Freddie and Brenda Jeffries, reside in Elizabethtown with her husband Joseph and her 2 children, Hannah and Micah. Ladies and gentlemen, Julie Jeffries Ferguson.
Our third inductee is David McCann. David McCann is a 1993 graduate of Central Hardin. He is the son of retired Sergeant Major William and Mary McCann of Elizabethtown. David came to Central Hardin by way of Camp Salmon of Japan in 1991. While attending Central Hardin, David played football, baseball, and wrestling, lettering in all 3. David was named Mr. Senior and Basketball Homecoming King in 1993. Upon graduation, David attended Murray State University and walked on their football team and was given a chance to try out. He impressed the head coach, Houston Nutt, and was awarded a full scholarship at the end of his freshman season. David later received preseason and postseason All-OVC honors and was named Defensive MVP for Murray State his junior year and Team MVP his senior year. David was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers football club to play fullback and special teams before being traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Since graduation from Murray State, David has coached and taught physical education and health in Orlando, Florida, and is currently teaching in Chicago, Illinois. David is married to Linda Sue Brown of Plainfield, Illinois, and they have a daughter, Eve Grace, and a son, Tyler. Accepting on David's behalf this evening is his father, retired Sergeant Major William McCann.
Our 4th inductee is Coach Terry Buckle. Terry became the first girls basketball coach at Central Hardin in 1990. During his 19-year tenure, the Lady Bruins won 446 games while losing only 130. That's a winning percentage of 78%. Under his coaching, the Lady Bruins, have 5 regional championship titles, 3 regional runner-up titles, and were state runner-up in 96. The 96 team won the high school state AAU championship and finished 8th in the National AAU Championship. In 1997, he coached the Kentucky All-Stars as defeated the Indiana All-Stars, breaking a losing streak for the Kentucky team. Coach Buckles has won numerous Area Coaches of the Year award, as being named 5th Region Coach of the Year 7 times. In 2005, he was named the 5th Region Athletic Directors Hall of Fame. In 2006, he was inducted into the Kentucky Association of Basketball Coaches of Honor. In 2009, Coach Buckles was selected by the National High School Athletic Coaches Association as a national finalist for National Coach of the Year in girls basketball. Coach Buckles came to Central Hardin after serving as head basketball coach at East Hardin for 5 years. At East Hardin, his teams won 102 games while losing 41. In 1988, he guided the Lady Rebels to their first and only 5th Region Championship. Between East Hardin and Central Hardin, Coach Buckles comprised a winning loss record of 548 and 171. Coach Buckles resides in Elizabethtown with his wife Benita of 43 years. He has 2 daughters, Casey and Kelly, both graduates of Central Hardin. Casey and her husband Matthew have 2 children, Mila and Luke. Kelly and her husband David have 1 son, Lofton. Coach Buckles is enjoying his retirement by spending time with his family and friends, traveling, running half marathons, and playing golf. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Terry Buckles.
If I could have your attention now towards the press box. Our final inductee is Brother Michael Bell. Brother Mike Bell, the voice of Central Hardin, was born in Madison, Indiana, and moved to Glendale, Kentucky in 1970. Brother Bell has been the voice of Central Hardin Athletics since 1991, lending his expertise in both girls and boys Bruin basketball, football, and softball. Prior to his tenure at Central Hardin, Brother Bell was the voice of the East Hardin Rebels until 1990, announcing both girls and boys basketball, baseball, softball, and football. Brother Bell married the love of his life, Miss Sharon Ruth True of Louisville, on June 10, 1966. Together they have 2 sons, John and Chris. John and his wife Annie, along with Chris and his wife Heather, reside in Glendale. Brother Bell is the proud grandfather of Samantha, a graduate of Central Hardin, and Kayla, a current Central Hardin senior. Accepting on Brother Bell's behalf are his sons John and Chris, and granddaughters Samantha and Kayla. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Michael Bell. On behalf of Central Hardin, we wish to congratulate tonight's inductees into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Once a Bruin, always a Bruin. Congratulations. Please welcome for your halftime entertainment our Central Hardin High School Marching Band. The band is being led tonight by drum majors Kayla Rigdon, Jasmine Keith, Mariah Kendall, and Kayla Slayball. This year's marching band is made up of 125 students under the direction of David Centers, with assistance from Tyler Cantrell and Matt Bauckham. Due to the time constraints, the Central Hardin Band will be performing a standstill performance of portions of their 2017 competition show titled High Strung. This season, Central Hardin Band has been named Grand Champion at the Taylor County KMEA competition and Bands of America Regional Championship finalists, placing in the top 6 among bands from multiple states across the U.S. The band will be competing next week over fall break at South Oldham KMEA contest. Please welcome the Central Hardin Marching Band.
Well, I think you got to the Warriors almost perfect. I know Coach Frank is very off about one of the last Well, it was pretty speculative, but I think last week's game they had two losses in the two prior weeks. They had the bye week. I think Coach got his kids coached up.
What time do you get us? Kickoff or
plan was going to be not like social money with some offensive. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball with a lot of different guys. So far, Southwestern's defense has figured out exactly how to keep that completely bottled up. And you know, when the Central Hardin was lots of pressure coming up the middle from the defensive line and linebacking core, and guys covering and receiving down the field. So it's really taking Central Hardin out of their game plan for this week. Hats off to Coach Ford.
Well, you know, we've been taught for that confidence. We're generally worried about it because Central Hardin runs the ball very effectively. They've been on the roll the last 2 weeks. Biggest concern that with all the football coaches are concerned about. What is that? You were in band. What is that thing? It's in the paper. It's been inducted some folks, I think, in the Hall of Fame. Very confused. Executing themselves, they did. It's difficult. We have to for 10 minutes every. My younger brothers better
Play their tunes before they get their team to delay a game.
I've
never seen a band delay a game.
Southwestern, I don't know. Each brother's in the house.
It's all like
I do want to send out
I
a
just
very
wanna know
special
what that
hello to
is.
my buddy's camera show.
The thing in the middle, the hole, it looks like a hooper.
Thanks,
I know
guys,
it's
for
not,
tuning in.
but-
And I can honestly say,
Oh,
Trey,
well,
thanks for
once you
letting me
start dancing
barge
around,
into the booth
it's a
here.
problem.
This is a lifelong dream come true for me with Doug.
It's a maypole.
And that's the scary part, is that, you know, back in the studio, he's does a great job, except he hired you.
Just did it for a little bit.
That's a scary thing, because everybody knows somebody comes in.
I don't have any either.
You get the double dose commitment.
Couldn't do it now. Sometimes I play Beethoven's good.
He just said he gets to do it again.
Yeah, you gotta turn our mics on. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
It shows. It definitely shows.
Score at halftime, DeSales 45, or 42, and North Hardin 0. Elizabethtown 29 to 3. Western at
Bluegrass Cellular and E-Town exterminating, along with West Point Bank. Well, Drew, if I told you that one team was off for 2 weeks and they had lost the 2 games prior, and I told you another team won their last game 50-0, which one of those teams would you think would be winning 27-0?
I think I would go with the team that won 50-0 last week.
Yeah, well, that's not what's happening here. The hometown Central Hardin Bruins, shocking, are trailing 27-0. Listening to the radio guys from Somerset, they're even a little surprised. And maybe we should just need to give a salute, a tip of the cap, a hats off, and whatever else to congratulate. It's a little bit early. This game's not over yet. But to Coach French and that Southwest Warriors team that looks like they used the 2 weeks off to learn some new gadgets.
Yeah, they did. I tell you, it's been just an amazing game for them. Everything that they've wanted to do has just come easily to them. Meanwhile, the Central Hardin Bruins are struggling mightily.
You know, Southwestern put up more than 300 yards in the first half of offense. Central Hardin didn't. They stalled on 3 drives. It took them across their midfield. A couple of telling stats for Central Hardin offensively. They ran the ball 20 times for 76 yards. Jacob Hobbs has thrown the ball 8 times, connected on 2, had an interception, but only 9 yards in the air.
Yeah, less than 100 yards of offense for the Bruins. Got a quick score update for you, a couple of them for you. Louisville Western leads John Hardin 23-0 at the half. DeSales leads North Hardin 42-0. That is also at the half. And Tyler Durbin scores from 15 yards out. E-Town leads Hart County 28-7. 9:53 left in the second quarter.
Hey, the Raiders picked up a touchdown down there. I better not make fun of the people in Munfordville too much longer. Football guys that come out to play once in a while, but I'll tell you that E-Town's one of the toughest teams around, and they're the only local team putting up points right now. Everybody's blanked.
Yeah, and you want to talk about, we think this game is lopsided. How about this? DeSales has outgained North Hardin 282 yards to 28 in the first half.
My goodness.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of local teams take on some very tough opponents, and this is going to be interesting to see if the Bruins can put some points on the board.
Central Hardin deferred early so they could get this kickoff. They have it now, and we'll see how it's lined up. They've got a kicker on this Southwestern team that can boot the ball deep, and it's safe. I don't think they want to have George return the football, or even if they can avoid tackling Duncan. He's a big guy. Nobody wants to make contact with the big guys. Got a little tilt on it. Could be giving it a deep boot. We've seen him put it out of bounds twice today.
Crest ready to kick this one away.
Here we go.
Back to take this one alongside George.
Gives it a boot. It's not deep. It's a little short hopper. It's going to take a slow roll out of bounds. Bruins will start at about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that's a good start for the Bruins. They're going to be up near midfield. Now the question is, can they get across midfield and keep rolling? That has been their Achilles heel all night. The second they get on the other side of the 50, South Warren just says, well, that's enough of that. We're going to shut that down.
Tonight's officials, referee is Joseph Emmerman. The umpire is Brandon Shields. Head linesman is Aaron Henry. Line judge is Jerry Enlow. And the back judge is Jason Terrence. First and 10, ball's at the 35. Bruins got some, not just some points to make up, they got to play a little defense too. And you know, he keeps saying that they've got to score. They kind of got to score here. If they don't and give up more points, that clock just goes into, they don't stop it mode.
Yeah, running clock would be disastrous for Central Hardin here.
Hobbs keeping it simple, gives it to Valentine.
Valentine gets the first carry, about a 3-yard gain.
Just a simple dive off.
There's nothing fancy about that. Just
nothing
kick it a
fancy.
couple yards.
Williams on the tackle there, but there's been nothing fancy about the Bruins offense all night, and that's part of the problem.
And when they have got a little bit fancy, well, they haven't connected. Hobbs would love to have another opportunity to connect deep on a pass, and we'll talk about that later. Here's Duncan off left tackle. He's got yards and more, but this one's coming back.
And we've got a ball out, but I think they're going to rule him down. But I believe I saw some laundry in the backfield.
I thought I saw a flag on the play, but I don't think so. It might have been just a towel from one of the players. Biggest gain of the day for Central Hardin. Move it forward, no flag.
Yep, and the Bruins have now gotten into the red zone for the first time in this game. As a matter of fact, I believe this is the first time they've moved beyond their own, the opposing team 30-yard line.
This is kind of what we expected to see out of Central Hardin. And, well, they're moving the football now.
Already down in southwestern territory.
Gives it inside to George.
Is going to go to, we'll try to see the number.
I believe those Gavin George on the run, and
nope, that's 28.
Cameron Miller will get the tackle.
That's Jace Chapman. We haven't called his name as a running back today. I thought it was George at first, but that's Chapman. He didn't get far, got 3, but he's moving forward, and at least the Bruins are going in the right direction. That's going to be good for morale.
Yeah, it does, and I'll tell you, this is their best scoring opportunity they've had all game.
Here we go. Hobbs under center. Got a couple of backs behind him. Valentine's one of them. It is Valentine. Not going to get far, but he goes forward.
Williams on the tackle, keeping it tough sledding for Valentine on the left side. So now you got to wonder what kind of play the Bruins are going to dial up. They're going to have third, about medium distance going in from about the 10-yard line.
Here's what we do know. It's 3rd and 6 in the red zone. You know they're not kicking field goals here, so you got all kinds of plays to choose from. No need to panic. Hobbs gives it off to Duncan. Duncan plows forward. He's tough to bring down. Touchdown.
And I believe he didn't even get touched all the way to the end zone. What a run by Deontay Duncan.
I don't think anybody touched him whatsoever. Because of the score, I was gonna say maybe they would go for 2 here just because of the weird math, but they're gonna just keep it simple. Their kicker can hit these, and they're going to try to cut this to a 20-point lead. If you're the Bruins, that's exactly what you wanted from the beginning of this half. Kick is up, it's through, it's good, no flags, 27-7, and hey, Central Hardin said, we want to put some points on the board. I like it, Drew.
I like it too, and what a play, a couple of plays by Deontay Duncan. You know, earlier, I may have misspoke. I categorized him as more of a fullback type runner, that tough, hard-nosed runner, but he showed off some speed and agility there on that drive.
It's easy for a team to phone it in for the second half when you see that score up there, but there's a lot of time left in this game. We know there's playmakers on this team, and we've also seen Central Hardin come up with some opportunistic defensive plays this season. So I'm curious to see how the defense plays here.
Yeah, they do have 8 takeaways on the season. So now if you're the Bruin defense, one of your playmakers has to step up and do that again.
Let's hope Southwestern can rebound everything at this touchdown.
Well, Coach Mattingly clearly had a talk with his offensive line.
Yeah, well, that was what I expected to see out of Central Hardin in the first half. And, well, it just worked. And maybe Deontay Duncan was the answer. We didn't call his name as a running back too often. He had a heck of a first half on the defensive side of the ball. And we could be seeing Deontay Duncan being one of the leaders on this team stepping up and saying, hey, I'm not getting blown out at home. Here's the boot.
It's going to kick this one long. It's going to be taken about the 12-yard line.
Fielded around the 11, 12-yard line.
He'll get about 13 on that. He'll get up to about the. I think they're
Edwards.
marking at the 25.
Boy, Edwards had about 120 yards on just a handful of carries in the first half. A couple of just big runs, and it seemed like he was knifing through that Bruins defense without even getting contacted.
Yeah, it did. I tell you, he's got a lot of shiftiness and a lot of agility. So it's going to be interesting to see if they go back to him to start off this drive.
Sawyer's the quarterback with a pair of bigger running backs on either side of him. Takes the handoff, just gives it to Edwards right up the middle, and I think Central's made a couple of adjustments. I was talking to Jesse Bird a little bit during halftime. We were saying that Central's got to take that away. They've got to take away that dive play if they're going to have any hope of disrupting what's going on offensively with Southwestern. The other thing is, if they're going to come out and put these guys doubles and trips way outside, Central's going to have to challenge them to make that throw. Because I don't know that Sawyer can make that throw on a rope real quickly. We'll see how this plays out. Sawyer gives it to Barnes. Barnes going off left tackle. Bruins are all over it. Short gain.
One thing Page got the tackle, and I tell you, I'm very impressed with the Bruin defense. They are all flowing towards the ball, and I tell you what, number one, that was number one on there, Cameron Miller. He got up a little slowly after that one. I think he got popped.
Bruins got the foot thunder rocking here. The crowd's back into it, and Central showing a little bit of pep. Not sure what was said at halftime, but it seems to be motivating. Sawyer takes the snap, gives it to Edwards. Edwards going to throw the football, and he's got a receiver downfield. Looks like all kinds of interference, so it's going to be a first down.
Terrible coverage.
Yeah, that was just terrible coverage, and Wilkerson again. He's gotten burned a couple times tonight, and then didn't even turn around to look for the ball. Just that being said, though,
a little razzle-dazzle. When you've got two quarterbacks in the backfield, you got a couple of guys that can throw the rock. Edwards showed us he's got an arm and a little bit of accuracy too. And it's one of those that I'm sure if Wilkerson doesn't interfere with him, that could have been a big gain anyway.
Yeah, I think that was going to the house if he doesn't interfere on that one. But still not what you want to see out of your cornerback.
For Southwestern, they are just dialing up some offensive plays today that I am as an offensive coordinator, I'm excited about. Here's Sawyer, little read option outside. He's going to pitch it outside to his receiver. We've seen Vaught do a little of everything today, and that time his quarterback just kept it and flung it out there to him. Picked up a couple of yards.
Dylan Jenrette was able to get him down there on the outside, and that's something that the Bruins have to take away is that outside running ability.
And it was looking good for the Bruins for a second. They had a bunch of guys running the football. That the old halfback option pass caught him looking, but at least it was held to a 10-yard gain because of the pass interference penalty. Here's Sawyer. Goes inside to Edwards, setting up a 3rd and short. Bruins fans are going to break out the foot thunder again.
Jenrette again with the tackle, and I tell you, I see a lot of Bruins reaching in for the ball. They're trying to jar it loose. They're trying to rip it loose. Anything they can to get the ball back in their own hands so that they can try to cut this lead again.
And now one's got to wonder what Southwestern's going to dial up here. They've shown us that they've got some looks, and they can pull some cards out of their deck that whenever they need it. Here's
Bruins
Sawyer.
coming with a blitz.
A nice wide receiver screen set up. A toss to his running back, Edwards. I like the play a lot, Drew. They let the pressure come in. Sawyer just ran right and threw over it. When you set up a screen like that, your receiver just kind of releases into the flat, and you let some guys rush at you, and you just basically throw over them, and they executed that quite well.
Yeah, they did. They executed it to perfection. Evan Jones was finally able to get Edwards down and keep him from breaking it off for an even bigger gain.
Guys had a jailbreak up front. They were bearing down on Sawyer.
Here we go. Sawyer, the quarterback, having a heck of a day today. Just gives it inside. That's to the speedy fullback Barnes. We call a guy a fullback. We don't expect him to zip through the line like that. He's got pretty good pop.
Deontay Duncan was able to get the tackle. Score update. Becker, 3-yard run. E-Town is up 34-7. 4:25 left in the second quarter. Again, big thanks to the News Enterprise Sports at BNE Sports for our live score updates all night.
Joseph Becker of E-Town might be the most exciting guy in Kentucky football. Anytime he has his hands on a football, he can score. And his brother's a pretty good football player, too. Here we go. Sawyer's got two backs behind him. We don't know who's going to take the snap or throw the football. Looking to the sideline for guidance, moving guys around. And coach is going to say, hey, wait a minute. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, I think they were just a little bit unsettled, a little bit confused as to what they were going to go with, so they very smartly call a timeout. You know, when you're ahead 27-7, you have the luxury of taking those timeouts.
And when they call timeout, I can tell you about our sponsors. West Point Bank has 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Find them online at westpointbank.com. Let them help you make your life simpler. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple. E-Town Exterminating, 737-6900, online at mugabug.com. Bluegrass Cellular offer the most affordable unlimited plan anywhere where wireless works. Find them online at bluegrasscellular.com. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. Also, Physical Therapy Associates. More personal attention for more effective results. They have locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, Brandenburg, Bardstown, and Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com.
And our spotter just keyed me into something to keep an eye on these plays. You've got the Central Hardin cornerback is playing zone with a safety over top to try to keep Vaught a little bit busy on these plays. So keep an eye on that on this next play.
Here we go. Here's Sawyer, takes a snap.
Hands it off to JP Vaught.
Gives it to Vaught, the receiver, who was in the backfield, and wow, he's got a little pop to him too. He zips around that right side. Kind of the same type of success on that play that we see Stephen Livers of John Hardin run very successfully. Nothing fancy there, but Vaught showed us that he can do just a little bit of everything in this field.
Yeah, and if they're going to take him away in the passing game, well, then Southwestern's going to use them in the running game. Wilkerson was in on the tackle, but like I said, when they split him out wide, watch for Wilkerson with safety help.
Bruins defense is pretty much saying, okay, if you're going to put receivers way out over here now, we're going to dare you to throw it. They got a man coverage out there, and they're starting to put more numbers inside. Here's Edwards. I think this was coming back. I believe I saw a hold on the right side of that Southwestern line. Sometimes the flags can be your friend when you are Central Hardin. You don't want to give up a touchdown here.
Yeah, and it is going to go against the Warriors. That's going to back them up 10 yards, which is good when they're on the 8-yard line. That's going to bring them out almost to the 20.
Make them run plays. Earlier, we saw them have success throwing a ball to Blake Lanham, and he's kind of playing that tight end slot receiver role. Tall young man, 6'3", 175. Number 8, take a look at him. He's lining up kind of in a tight end role. Here's a run off left tackle. Boom! There's a tackle. There's a big hit. Gets a pop. Who is that? That could be Dylan Jenneret.
No, that was Chase Elmore on the tackle, getting into the backfield and shutting them down.
Chase Elmore, 11. Little bit of pop there. Set it back a little bit.
Yeah, they're actually going to move outside of the red zone now. They're going to have second and goal from the 21.
If you're the Bruins, you can't expect them to have to pass here. They got the score in their favor, the time in their favor, and they've been running the ball really well. Look at this formation right here. Here we go. Straight to Sawyer. He's throwing. It was a pass play. He's going over to the corner, and it's knocked away.
Nearly intercepted, but I think they're going to get him for interference.
Kind of an interesting place to throw the flag for interference in the far corner when there's an official over there. It's going to be an illegal shift. There were 4 guys. I said, look at that formation, and it's just not. You can't do that. You can't have 2 guys moving at the same time.
Yeah, and that's just one of those penalties where you shoot yourself in the foot, but penalty is going to be declined. They're going to take
the down.
Take
Good
the down.
move. The Bruins are benefiting from some mistakes by a Southwestern team that was nearly flawless in the first half. And right now, I think the Bruins have made some defensive adjustments that are causing a little bit of a headache for this visiting football team. Important play here, and this play isn't going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be an illegal procedure.
That's the 5 yards that the Bruins didn't take on the last play, so they'll just get the yardage anyway.
Yeah, now if you're Southwestern, you're going to be 3rd and 26, and the only way for you to there is no first down here. You've got to get to the goal line. 3rd and goal from the 26. That is quite a feat.
If I'm Southwestern, I just want to get out of here without turning the football over. And, I'm not looking for anything fancy here. But we know they're not afraid to take a shot. I'm looking at number 8 again. He's lined up as a bona fide receiver here. Sawyer, he's got all kinds of time. Look at that. He's going deep. He's got it up in the air. And 2 Bruins go for it. Is it Witherspoon with the interception? Wilkerson.
Yeah, that was Deonko Wilkerson. We've talked about him all night. They've been picking on him.
He's had a rough night tonight, and he comes up with a big play. Anthony Witherspoon plays for John Hardin, and but it's Wilkerson, and Wilkerson's been picked on a little bit today. Hats off to him. He gets in the stat sheet in the good way.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think that zone coverage with the safety help that our spotter mentioned, I think that may have helped him out a lot on that one.
A little bit underthrown. They just kind of hung that one up there. But here is an opportunity for Central Hardin to get their crowd back into the football game, get their team back into the game, and I'm thinking we're going to see a dose of Deontay Duncan. Guess what? It's Valentine. Valentine gets his traditional 3 yards, maybe 2.
Yeah, I think he tripped up a little bit as he was trying to come up through there.
The turf monster.
Yeah, the turf monster got him. Robinson finished him off. Score update, Louisville Western leads John Hardin 30-0. 4:38 left in the 3rd quarter. Wow. You got to wonder if they're going to start that running clock over there in John Hardin soon.
John Hardin can score points, and they've got some exciting football players, so hats off to their opponent for playing some defense today. Here we go. They're going to try a run to Jace Chapman. Chapman's a running back that's deep on the depth chart for this Bruin team, and he's getting carries here. Well, they got to dial something up here, and you know what? It's almost in that time of football game and down 20 where if you are less than 4 yards from your first down, you got to think about going for it. I think, Deontay Duncan out there wide as a wingback. Watch if he goes in motion. I would expect him to get the football. No, Hobbs throwing the football. He didn't have a lot of success earlier. Looks like holding on the Bruins. No call. Hobbs is in trouble. He's vulnerable, but he gets the first down.
Wow, what a great play. I mean, despite the fact that there should have probably been holding called on that, what an athletic play by Hobbs. Hubbard got him down, but Hobbs got that first down first.
Whatever it takes, right? I think the Bruins got away with one there, and Hobbs just made something happen, and I was cringing. He was just so vulnerable, and thankfully he fell forward without taking a big lick. But Hobbs has got his team moving here. Duncan shifts back into the backfield. Look for him to pick up a first down with his legs. He is under duress, and everybody saw that one coming, including this old guy in the box. The Southwest, the Warriors weren't playing that.
Yeah, to go back one play, though, to show you how much Hobbs is, maybe that they've gotten him off his game when it comes to throwing. He had Connor Mann running down the middle of the field wide open, and Hobbs decided to run it himself. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to try to pass again tonight.
Hobbs picks up a yard. We've seen the Bruins have second-half success when they just bunker down and run the ball old school. But here's a throw. Hobbs, he's got a receiver, connects, and it's Chapman again. You know, Jacob Hobbs has these moments where he just looks like a quarterback. He's That was a fantastic play.
That was. And Burton, even though he got the tackle, again, Jace Chapman had the first down before they could get the tackle. What a great play by Jacob Hobbs and Jace Chapman.
Moving the chains. Bruins have decided they're not giving up easy. Here's just a simple give. Nope, Hobbs is going to keep it, and he's got a first down and more. Guess what? He's taking this one to the house.
Hobbs is going, gone.
Touchdown, Central Hardin.
And look at the Bruins sideline celebrating. They're pumped up. The fans are pumped up. We have ourselves a game.
54 yards for the score.
Cameron Miller just about got there, but by the time he got there was nowhere to tackle him but right into the end zone. What a play.
I just got a big grin on my face because when you see a 6'6" quarterback streaking down the field, you know, there's not a lot of guys that can do that in the NFL that have that kind of build. I'm thinking of one that doesn't have a job right now, but we're not going to talk about him today. Kick is up and good, 27-14.
And suddenly, like I said, we have a game, a 13-point lead. This could be interesting. The Bruins are getting momentum on their side, and momentum means a lot in football games. Score update, Derek Smith, 28-yard pass from Durbin. Elizabethtown leads Hart County 40-7 at halftime. Again, big thanks to the News Enterprise Sports at the NE Sports on Twitter for our live score updates.
Thanks, Drew. I'll tell you what, I thought we were going to be telling football stories in this one while there was a running clock, but I guess now we got a little bit of hope here in Cecilia. And the crowd's into it, the band's into it. It's just a whole different feel. In the first half, the Bruins all were looking at the field, and they had their hands on their hips. And I don't know what happened at halftime for these respective teams, but I'm just wondering where this was. This was a little bit more of what I thought I'd see out of Central Hardin when we showed up here tonight. And this is exciting. This is exciting here, and this is a critical defensive series for this Central Hardin team. You know, I still watching a 6'6" quarterback take off and outrun everybody up the field is definitely a thing of beauty. I loved it. He just decided he was going to score and outran everybody.
Yeah, what a great play by Hobbs, and we've been waiting for that explosive play all night.
Vertical ball, nothing up the middle for Southwestern defensively. Look at that. Guess what? He's going to boot it. Not going to make it to the end zone, but it gets to Edwards. Edwards fields it. Got blocking around the outside. And that's a great open field tackle.
That was number 6, Miles Hudson, getting that. Not a name we've called all night, but he made a great play.
Hudson's a senior receiver. First time we gave him a shout out today, and that's the kind of play that the Bruins need from people that don't ordinarily make plays, the guys that we don't shout out week after week. Somebody's got to step up and get on the stat sheet, and that was bigger than just the one tackle he's going to get there. Okay, so here's Southwestern coming out with this trips far left formation with 4 receivers. They had amazing success in this. What they're doing is a numbers game, and I can already see some adjustments that Central Hardin has made for this. That's an offensive penalty. See, that happens when you get a little excited. Offensively, you look and you had these advantage earlier, and then when you see that, they've figured us out, that can get somebody a little antsy.
And something to watch that our spotter just picked up on, the Central Hardin Bruins defense has switched from a 4-3 to a 3-3 with a lot of zone coverage, and they're double covering Vaught. They had man coverage on him right now, but a procedural penalty that's going to back up the South Hardin team. Got to wonder if they're starting to get nervous.
Yeah, I think Central Hardin had enough of Vaught in the first half. Here we go. Here's Sawyer. If he's going to keep it himself and not go anywhere.
I tell you what, this Bruins defense is fired up. They've got a lot of... We've got a Bruin down. He's getting up slowly.
He's going to have to come out if they sit the coaching staff out there, but that Jenneret.
That's Jenneret coming
still
out.
Still Jenneret coming off gingerly. He doesn't want to come off. He's tough like that, but he's involved in every play. And I'll tell you what, they'd like to have him out there for this play, but it looks like he's upright. He's going to be okay. He's still got the hat on. Sawyer rolls out, looking to zing, flips it outside, got a receiver, a nice play. Guess what? Vaught.
Yeah, Vaught got open underneath. They had that. They've been running that little zone coverage with the double cover, but sometimes you can get somebody open in between those zones, and I think that's exactly what just happened.
These two guys have quite a rapport throwing the football. Vaught runs his routes sharp. I've been watching him, and Jesse pointed out earlier he was doubled on the previous play. Wasn't there? Here we go. Sawyer's just going to take it and run. Make something happen. 6-7 yards on the carry. Central's going to have to do a better job of stopping the quarterback on the simple stuff, because when they start getting a little more complicated, it's a little harder to defend. 1:21 to play in this this third quarter of play. Huge defensive series for Central Hardin. They're back in this football game, and if they can make a stop here, they got an obvious chance to come back. An interesting note, score-wise, earlier Southwestern opted to go for 2 on one of their point afters. Could come into play later. Could be talking about that. Here's Sawyer. He's going to just fake the give, run around the right side for another first down and more. Still upright, moving forward. Good game.
That was a good fake, too, because it faked me out, too. Bellin with the initial stop on that. Score update, Justin Russell, 54-yard touchdown pass to Anthony Witherspoon. Louisville Western leads John Hardin 30-7.
I'm glad they got some points, and I'm glad we got to at least say Anthony Witherspoon for the correct football team. I've twice put him on this Bruins team, and I don't think he or his family or his teammates are going to appreciate that. So, heck of a football player, Anthony. Here we go. Edwards had a big half in the first half, and add these to his stats. Guess what? He just picked up 20 yards, put his head down, gets popped by a couple of Bruins, and wow. He made that look easy.
Yeah, he did, and I tell you, this Bruins defense is going to have to come up with another turnover. They're not going to stop them 4 plays in a row. They're going to have to make something happen. They're going to have to jar the ball loose or pick a pass off, because they can't stop them 4 plays in a row. They've got to make a splash play.
Edwards guys, unofficially 12 carries, 139 yards.
Yeah, I listened to the radio guys next to us. They're saying Edwards has close to 140 yards on the day, and boy, yeah, he's done it. Here's Sawyer. Just puts his head down. There's nothing fancy about that. That's some old school stuff. One thing of note, a couple of Central Bruins knocked down on the play. That's just testimony to great line play. Good disciplined line play by this Southwestern team. That's going to be the end of the third quarter. We got a game, 27-14. Central's got to make a play here. Their last time out there defensively, they came away with the big interception. Could they come away with a turnover here? That could really change momentum. That could change the morale of this crowd, who's still a little confused at what happened in the first half. I'm a little confused at what happened in the first half.
Me too. You know, if the Bruins had played like this in the first half, we'd be looking at a completely different game right now.
Tonight's broadcast is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV, a division of Hardin County School Systems, live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, eTownApartments.com, Bluegrass Cellular, eTown Exterminating, and West Point Bank. Yep, crunch time. This is kind of the fun time. If you're a defender, you know you're just playing all out, you know. Maybe you make a break on a thrown football. Maybe you read a play and shoot for it. But this is the opportunity to shine, and somebody out there has an opportunity to do that for Central Hardin. If you're Southwestern, just keep dialing up what you dialed in that first half and take advantage of some mistakes that this Bruin defense has made. Here we go, 2nd and 4 is where we start the fourth quarter. Ball at the 19.
Yeah, just inside the red zone for Southwestern. It's going to be interesting to see what they pull out here.
Southwestern trips far right. They're going to just run off that right side. Here's Edwards, breaks into the into the second level, scores a touchdown.
And they could not get him down, and that's just a heartbreaker for this Central Hardin defense. He just never went down, and now you're back to a 3-score lead.
Well, that's not how you wanted the fourth quarter to start if the Bruins. I was starting to feel for them, but the good news, there's still just under 12 minutes left, and they've shown the ability to score. So let's see how it plays out. I think it's hard to tell what Southwestern's agenda is because they shift into that kick. They might try to get to a 21-point gap here, and Let's see what they shift into. No, they're just going to go simple here.
So with 11:49
So
play in the
Chris,
fourth quarter,
to attempt
Southwestern trying to get some
Sawyer Chris, the kick,
Central Hardin.
and Sawyer, the quarterback, the holder. Kick is up. It's through. It's good. No flags. Counted. 34-14. Still time.
Still time, but if you're the Bruins, you have to continue with the explosive plays. You can't just dink and dunk it down the field. You can't just 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. You need big explosive plays like we saw from Jacob Hobbs and Deontay Duncan. That's the only thing that's going to get you back in this game.
We know Hobbs and Duncan can make a big play. We haven't called Gavin George's name on a big play yet, and it's only a matter of time, I think, before they connect with him and really pick up some good gains with him. After your quarterback takes off and runs 54 yards for a touchdown, after Duncan ran for his, I think they're going to be focusing on those two. It's an opportunity for George to have a big play, and I'd like to see the Bruins find a way to get him the ball. He is an exciting playmaker.
I'm kind of surprised that the Bruins aren't doing something we've seen their rival John Hardin do and hide George or someone like Chris Bellin up here in these upper blockers, knowing that they're not going to kick it deep.
Southwestern, little bit of tilt on that. It's hard to tell what his agenda is. He's been booting him out of bounds. He's done it 3 times. He might very well do it again. It's not a bad defensive play. You give up the ball at the 35, and then you don't have a quick hit score against you. I'm not going to expect him to try to get it to the end zone. Here we go. The approach. A skipper. Goes to the wickets of one of the Bruins. Here we go. The return is to George. I told you he was exciting. And there's George with a big play and sets up his team with great field position.
Bland on the tackle, but not before George got it to the 44-yard line. Great starting field position for the Bruins, and something like that just picks you up.
That's Deonko Wilkerson with the return. 2.
Coach the fundamentals.
And here we go. Here's the Bruins. They got to do something quick and exciting. That fullback run that's their bread and butter just isn't going to do it quick enough. They need 3 scores. Guess what? Fullback run. It's Valentine. Picks up 5, moving the chains. They've got to set up quicker. Their method of play calling inherently takes a lot of time. Hobbs has got to come all the way to the sidelines, get a play, come all the way back. They don't really have an up-tempo package, and we didn't see it against South Warren when they were down by 3 scores either.
Yeah, I tell you what, Hobbs, the Valentine run, it gets you to midfield, but Hobbs has got to be able to take a shot here.
You just can't tick off 45 seconds on every play when you are trailing by 3 scores. Here we go. Here's Duncan. He gets roasted. And 1, 2, 3, 4 different Warriors on top of him. Sets up a scenario that you don't want to be in if you're Central Hardin, where Hobbs has to throw the football, and he's just going to have to make connections. You see right now, they're trying to move the football. They need 3 scores. He's still getting the play.
Yeah, this is just taking way too much time for the Bruins. You have got to catch up. There's no time for this. You've got to have some kind of hurry-up, quick muddle-huddle offense that you can call quickly.
Yeah, just here we go. Hobbs trying to throw. Does. Got a receiver and can't connect.
And more bad news for the Bruins. Just had that amazing return by Deonko Wilkerson. He's got a little bit of a limp. He's going out there right now, but he was on the sideline getting his ankle taped. Good spot by our spotter, Jesse Bird.
Warriors got good pressure with a 4-man rush there, and right now, here's crunch time. If Central's going to make this an amazing rally, it comes down to this 4th and 4 play from their logo. Hobbs has kept the ball in this scenario other times, and he does here. He runs forward, picks up a 1st down, hangs on to the ball.
And that was a good run by Hobbs. He found the hole, exploded through it. Hubbard got the tackle, but not before Hobbs got the run. Now look at this. They just send him a play in. He's right to the huddle. That's the kind of up-tempo offense we need to see from the Bruins. We got just over 10 minutes left in this game.
You know, when you have to come back, you dial it down to 3 basic plays that you can go with, and it's 1, 2, or 3. Here's a
Across
toss.
the middle, it is tipped around. It is incomplete.
Nearly intercepted. It was nearly caught by two different Bruins and then nearly intercepted. What a great, just a great pass design, but not great execution.
I liked it. I liked the play call. It didn't execute well, and so many passes from Hobbs have gone off hands of his Bruin receivers. I think if you just gave him half of the ones that have hit his receivers in the hands over the season, you'd see a much better statistical line. Here's Hobbs. It's been the most effective play today. He just keeps the football and goes forward.
Score update. Justin Russell, 24-yard touchdown pass to Anthony Witherspoon. Western leads John Hardin, 36-13.
Hey, they're making a rally too. Good to see their defense putting some points up.
I think that Central Hardin must have a plan in mind to think, okay, we're going to stop Southwestern.
Stop Central needs to have a little bit more urgency in their play calling, because they're ticking off 40 seconds on every play, and they're going to run out of time on this clock. Here we go. Here's Hobbs looking to toss. He does. Goes deep. He's got a receiver, and it's picked off. Cam Miller for Southwestern comes up with a pickoff.
Yeah, Miller got to the inside of the receiver on that one, and it was just over at that point. By that time, though, the ball's already in the air. You can't get it back. Unfortunate turn of events.
We can't call for a sense of urgency and blame them for taking a shot at the end zone. That's the kind of play that they had to try, and it just didn't work out for them.
Correct.
A good defensive play. Receiver was covered. There was a moment where it looked like there was a little bit of separation, but I'm sure Jacob would like to have that pass back and put a little more on it. Here we go. The quarterback just going to run up the middle and pick up 15 yards on his own. And those kind of runs are just probably going to click off the last few seconds. This is going to be an emotional game for this Central Hardin team. There's still time on the clock. It's not over, but you're starting to see those mannerisms and body language on the sideline again that we saw in the first half. The brief bit of hope that the team had, we're starting to see guys a little bit down. Coaching staff walking up and down this Bruin sideline, waving their hands in the air, patting guys on the hat, trying to get them to cheer up a little bit. It's tough, though.
It is very tough, and this is a game, especially when you start to get that momentum behind you, and then it's just ripped away. I tell you what, a great adjustment by the Southwestern offense. They noticed that the Bruins had switched to that 3-3 pass defense. Well, now they're focusing on short runs and short passes just to get up underneath that pass defense, and that's exactly how Southwestern's doing it, just nickel and diming all the way down the field.
But when you have the clock and score in your favor, you can do that. Southwestern perfectly content to tick off 3-4 minutes and even punt it away. They just don't want to turn the ball over in their own side. Doesn't look like they're going to do that. Here we go. Edwards having a monster game. He is just absolutely knifing through this Bruin defense. And I don't think we've seen anybody run through this Bruin defense like this guy has today.
Chapman was Chapman with the tackle, but like I said, Edwards has just been the unanswerable question for the Central Hardin Bruins. He's been the unstoppable force, and the Bruins have been less than the immovable object. Keep an eye out. They've got man coverage on Vaught.
Sawyer takes snap, keeps it, runs off left. It's a foot race. He's got a couple Bruins over there to beat. He does a couple of shifts and athletic moves and dives forward. Nice game.
Yeah, really nice game. He was just dodging Bruins left and right, and this is going to be, I think, just a backbreaker, kill the clock type of drive for Southwestern. Score update: DeSales beats North Hardin 42-0.
Wow. That's going to be a tough one for that Trojan team. They've got some guys that can make some plays out there, and they just ran into a heck of a football team from Louisville. And
2nd and 7, on the 38-yard line.
Suited up next week, right?
Yeah, suited up next week.
Here we go. Sawyer's got all kinds of time.
Sawyer's in the shotgun. I'll hand it off to Barnes.
Gives it off to Barnes. Barnes rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. This clock's going to stop. This one's coming back. It's going to be an offensive penalty, some sort of a blocking variety.
Valentine on the tackle, but not that it matters. It's a hold on the offense. That's something that they would worry about, I think, if the score was a little bit closer. But at this point, you took the time off the clock already. A little bit of habeas grab is just going to back you up, give you more opportunity.
Bruins have benefited from some mistakes on this Southwestern team. That's kept them at least in competition in the second half. We didn't see those in the first half. Could be some of the adjustments that Central Hardin's made. Here we go. We've got Sawyer in the shotgun with two backs behind him. I don't expect anything too fancy. He's just been running himself, and he's going to do this again. Runs off the left end, goes right, but runs into a bunch of Bruins. That's a big loss. We've been setting up a third in loss. Big. And I was just going to say, I expected Central Hardin to take a timeout here.
And they will take that timeout. Page and Jenrette on the tackle. They were not fooled by that run at all.
We'll be right back in 1 minute with the Lake 102.3 Game of the Week, brought to you by Don Franklin.
One of the game-changing plays that we saw earlier is when Edwards threw a third down conversion from the running back spot and just threw a dime for a first down. And it looked like Central Hardin was going to get back in this football game, and they pull out a little bit of razzle-dazzle that you can do when you got a couple of quarterbacks in the backfield. And all game long, Sawyer's just been running, and he's been throwing, and then they hand it off. You think Edwards is going to keep on running? No, he stands up like a quarterback, tosses downfield, converts to third down, and if there was one play that just sealed the deal, if not the last touchdown, it was that one right there.
Yeah, it was. I tell you, that's the kind of play that just takes the wind out of a defense. And it wasn't long after that we saw Southwestern get into the end zone again.
The Kona Ice Truck still rocking their disco lights down there. They bring it each game. They're still serving up the snow cones. That's one highlight of what's going on tonight. But other than that, it's been all Southwestern. They're going to keep it simple.
Tough sledding off the left side there.
I'm not sure how many timeouts that the Bruins have left. They're going to get the football back. Gavin George back to return.
Zach Jones and Duncan on the tackle on that one.
And right now, time is of the essence. They're going to have to come out offensively quick and play quick and set up quick. They just can't send their quarterback to the sideline for every play. That just doesn't work.
Yeah, I tell you, this is the time where you're going to have to find a hurry-up offense, even if you don't have one.
Southwestern going to take a timeout on a punt. You never want to take a timeout on a punt, so I don't know if they wanted to just go over the fundamentals and say, hey, let's not hold anybody. Let's not have any late hits. You guys just make an open field tackle. But you just don't want to take timeouts on special teams plays.
Yeah, we saw that bite Meade County in the backside last week. They took a timeout on a punt late in the game. Ended up with a low snap and a short punt that set up John Hardin very well for what would be the game-winning touchdown.
Controversial end to that one. I still haven't watched it. You watched it. There was a pass interference call that I'm sure the folks in Meade County will interpret differently than the faithful of the Bulldogs.
Exactly. There's always two sides to every penalty. There's one side saying there's no way that was pass interference, and the other side going, yeah, that was pass interference. I believe the refs.
They're going to stop inviting us out there because when you and I go to games out there in Meade County, they seem to have these endings like that, and I feel bad for the incredible fans that are out there. They got a really great vibe out there. Everything is cool about it, except for when you and I come and call a ball game, they have these endings. They're going to find us and tell us no. Here we go, punt formation. I expect nothing but a boot. It's a high boot. It's going to bounce past George. Did he touch it? He did, and that's going to be a turnover. I think Southwestern has the football.
And that is a backbreaker for the Central Hardin Bruins. That may be the end right there.
I'm sure that's not what they discussed during the punt, but they said, hey, be on it if it happens. But that
ball is bouncing away from Gavin George.
We've talked about this season. Teams in this area, the coaches need to talk to their guys and tell them to stop fielding these punts on a hop because we've seen them be disasters more than big plays. The only exception, I guess, is if we were in Elizabethtown, the weather is okay, and you get a nice hop off of that turf, but you just can't do that in the end of a football game. You just can't do it in a fourth quarter of a game where you just stopped a team defensively. Here we go. Southwestern's going to try to just run some clock out. They're going to keep it simple. Edwards up the middle. Boy.
Edwards on the carry.
Yeah, it's just a tough break for the Central Hardin team. That's one of those where you see it coming. When you see it bouncing, get away from it. Yell poison. Just get away from it.
Yeah, it is everything I could do to not scream out, to get away from the ball. Let it go. It's better to have the ball with bad field position than to touch it and leave it on the field. But I don't want to pick on anybody. The Bruins, they responded at halftime, and they said, hey, we're not going to give up easy. They've had some fight, and I don't think they expected what Southwestern brought to their turf today. And I'm just going to salute a great game plan that was put together by this Warrior coaching staff on both sides of the ball.
I am too, and another thing I'm going to salute is I'm going to salute the defensive coordinator of Central Hardin, because they came out and they adjusted the exact way they needed to. Unfortunately, though, sometimes you just get outplayed, and I believe that's what happened. But the Bruins did not go down without a fight, and they should be very, very proud of their performance tonight against a very tough Southwestern team.
We're not done yet, but I don't want to get out of here without giving a shout-out to some of the appropriate guys. J.P. Vaught has had one heck of a football game today for the Southwestern team. I'm going to be looking at stat lines and seeing what this guy does the rest of the season, because talk about an impact player today. He's caught a couple of deep balls. He had a touchdown. He's played some defense. J.P. Vaught's had a heck of a ball game.
He has, and I'll tell you the other one that we've said a lot tonight, and that's number 4.
Oh, Edwards.
Number 4, Edwards.
Yeah,
He's been amazing tonight. Sorry, I had the spotter in my ear. Bad news for the Bruins. Number 7, Deontay Duncan, coming off limping, and he's down on the bench.
Looks like Duncan's day might be done. He's at the end of the bench. Medical team talking to him. That's one of the guys, too, I want to give some credit to, because he was a force this morning. Here's Vaught. Goes around the left side, not happening. Chris Bellin with a great open field tackle. Bruins not giving up. They don't want to give up any more points.
Yeah, they're not giving up. They're not going to go down without a fight. And I just applaud this Central Hardin Bruins defense for stepping up when they needed to. Got a score update. Haley, 8-yard run. Elizabethtown leads 47-7. 11 minutes left in the third quarter. Clock is running.
I want to also give a shout-out to number 2, Deonko Wilkerson, who I've messed his name up throughout the entire game. He's only a sophomore, so, teams have thrown his way today. Some things haven't gone his way. He came up with a big interception on a play that he needed to make when he needed to make it, and gave his team an opportunity to battle and stay in this football game. So Deonko Wilkerson's he had a nice kickoff return just a bit ago. Unfortunately, his team couldn't convert with the football once he had that good return. Bruins call a timeout. It's going to be 4th and 12.
I think we need to do it.
I don't know why. I guess it was just a time saver here, but we've seen a couple of timeouts on punts, and as a coach, it drives me nuts when there's timeouts on punting plays. You want to make sure to make those calls, those timeouts, like right before the play starts, so 30 seconds doesn't tick off. But
this is true, yeah, and I tell you,
Southwestern, I expect them to kick the ball away here. I don't expect any kind of tomfoolery.
Yeah, this isn't going to be like the Jaguars last week with a huge lead doing a fake punt. I think they're just going to kick it away. And
this is Gavin George back to return. I've been giving him credit for all kinds of stuff today that he didn't do, but he's back to return, and I expect him to have an opportunity. George was on the wrong end of a muffed punt on the last boot. Here we go. He's going to have a chance to field this one. Does it? He's exciting. Cuts back, still going, still upright, and he's going to be taken down by a host of Warriors.
Oh, and we got a little bit of a scrap there between. We got Blackburn on the tackle. We had a scrap between a Bruins player and a Warriors player out here ahead of the play.
Yeah, there was out of camera. There was a couple of guys engaged in a block, and see that's 29. That's their quarterback. So somebody on the Bruins wanted to lay a hit on him, I think, before this game's over. And you don't really want to see that with 3:12 left in a game that might be decided. But I guess when you have a chance to put a legal block on somebody, you try it sometimes. Here we go, Hobbs.
The territory of a long physical game flag.
And we've got a flag coming in.
Flag on the way.
Chance to get set down.
More than likely a false start, a legal procedure play. It's going to be an illegal shift.
Legal substitution.
Oh, substitution.
Well, substitution, that's going to go against
Defensively.
Southwestern.
I didn't see anybody on the Bruins move, so I'm not sure.
30 yards.
Warriors have 12 players.
They had 12 players on the field. That's what happened. That's why we didn't see it, because they were just there.
I think Coach French is going to have to call a timeout.
And Coach French is going to call a timeout here, so a disastrous couple of seconds here for the Southwestern Warriors, but luckily for them, they are ahead by 20 points.
Yeah, the Warriors got a 20-point lead here, and I guess this is one of those timeouts that a coach calls when he just sees disarray, and he wants to let people know, hey, guys, let's just finish out this football game. And let's get on the bus and go home. Let's not make silly mistakes and allow a team to move down the field. It's just not how we roll. Otherwise, boy, I can't say enough about this team from Pulaski County. Well coached, for the most part, disciplined. They've had some penalties today. They've been opportunistic. They've grabbed a couple of turnovers. 2 interceptions. They just picked up the fumble in the last series. I like what I've seen out of them. I like what I've seen offensively because they have multiple weapons. And when a little guy can come in and play quarterback and zinging around and run like that, hey, I'm all about that. He's out there playing defense, playing free safety right now. Reminds me of Honey Badger.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Here we go.
Here goes Hobbs again.
You just can't stop him. You can just try to keep him contained. Here's Jacob Hobbs running forward.
He's got the first down. He got about 15 yards on that run, but Lanham got the tackle on him.
A little quarterback on quarterback love there. Sawyer's the one that made the tackle. Sawyer, like I said, 5'8" on the roster. He's not that tall. And Jacob Hobbs is every bit of 6'6", and then the helmet makes him a little taller. So it was interesting when those two guys collide. Here we go. They're moving forward. No more of that sideline play calling stuff. Hobbs looking to throw here. Not even thinking about throwing it. Deep. He's got a receiver, and there's interference.
And
the catch was made out of bounds,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, he was very close to being out of bounds if he didn't make that catch on the sideline. But
pass is incomplete. I think he's going to get 10 yards for pass interference. It seems like in high school football, if there's just any contact whatsoever, you're going to get that call. And that was pass interference. There was some contact there.
Yeah, there was definitely contact there. And I tell you what, though, if the sideline was a foot farther that way, he might have made that catch because he looked good on that.
Unlike the National Football League, it's a 10-yard penalty. And the interesting thing about pass interference is it's not an automatic first down. So if you got like 1st and 40, you can't just chuck it deep and hope to get an automatic first down. It's a 10-yard penalty in high school football. Here we go. Hobbs rolls left. He's good this way when he throws the football. He's in trouble, though, and he's going to get back to about the original line of scrimmage. I think this is going to go down as a sack. Give 60 for Southwestern credit for that one. That's Josh Williams.
I tell you what, though, Hobbs could have exploded out of there again, I think, and great play by the Southwestern to get him wrapped up, get him to the ground, because that's the kind of play we see teams around here try to make on him, and he's gone.
Southwestern rushing 3, getting penetration. That's good testimony to the guys up front that we're not calling their names. One of those guys, 58, Luke Gregory. I said his name earlier. Luke's had a big game. Here's Hobbs, and talk about pressure. There it is. They only came with 2 guys, and they both got in there.
Price got up there in the middle and just brought him down, and we've seen him make a lot of plays tonight. He's been all over the field.
Cody Price ain't big, 6'2", 185. He's tall, but he came through like a big guy there. And now they rushed 2, and both of them got at the quarterback. That's just the kind of stuff you see at the end of a game that's a 20-point difference.
Yeah, Bruins are going to call their final timeout. Um,
New coming into the game, they're a run-first team. They've got a lot of great rushers.
We said earlier that neither one of these teams wanted to have to throw the ball.
And there is
That's fine.
One of these teams has shown they can throw the football,
no urgency.
and that's the team that's up by 20 right now.
I just simply
yeah, and I tell you, this has been a rough game for the Bruins. You got a minute 47 left. You got to wonder at this point if they're not thinking, let's just get out of here and live to play another day.
It's just not made or built.
No word on a couple of the players that we've seen banged up for the Bruins. I see that Duncan is back out on the field, number 7. That's great news. I don't see anybody sitting with helmet off or any medical crews or anything. So, you know, sometimes you play a football game and you don't win, but you want everyone to be back on your roster and ready to go next week, and that's what Central's going to have to do here. This isn't a district game. This isn't a game that, like I say sometimes, counts. You always want to win them all, but it just didn't happen tonight for him. Hobbs rolling left. This is a strong side. Throws a zinger. Okay, when he rolls left, he can throw that football and does.
Struggled with the tackle there.
Silvis, that's the first time we mentioned his name, and Silvis and Hobbs have had some connections this season that have worked. That's going to set up 4th down and about 8.
Devin Strunk on the
I like that play, and Central's got to look at film and see that when Hobbs rolls left, he can really cork that football on a dime. That was a great pass by Hobbs.
Yeah, it was. I tell you, when he rolls out to the left, that is his utter strength besides running.
Hobbs trying to keep his team on the football field. He's going deep. That's a good ball right there. What a catch! What a catch! Is that Gavin George?
That is Gavin George. What an amazing catch right there, almost at the goal line. That's going to give him 1st and goal on the 1-yard line.
I've been wanting to see that all day long. That is the connection that I've been waiting for all day.
They both went up for the ball. It's one of
That was just an incredible football play. Quite possibly the best ball I've seen Hobbs throw deep this season. It was on the mark. That's what you can do when you have a 6'3" wide receiver that's athletic like George. Hobbs going to keep it himself. He's got a touchdown.
He's in.
Yeah, he is in. That's one of those where he can just kind of lean over the line and extend the ball, and he's got that touchdown. So they're gonna shore it up here. I don't think they're gonna have enough time. They're gonna attempt an onside kick, but I tell you, the Bruins did not give up tonight, and they should be very proud of that fact.
Yeah. This Bruin team can say, hey, we didn't leave our home field with our heads hanging low. We came out and played football, and a better football team came out and won a football game today. That's going to happen sometimes. That's why you play the games out. You can't just look on paper and say a team lost a couple of games and that they're not going to come in here after being arrested for a couple of weeks and do a good job. You can see that there's still some good stuff with the Bruin football team that they can work on and develop. Defensively, they had their moments of brilliance. Got to maybe shore up that pass coverage on the deep ball.
Yeah, a little bit, and I think they struggled a little bit tonight. Wilkerson, well, I mean, he had his hands full with Vaught to the point that they had to put safety help over the top. You look at their run defense. The run defense was gouged, but I'm going to say something. Edwards could have probably gouged some college teams out there. That was amazing running out there tonight. He was just so shifty that you really couldn't get a good beat on where he was going or how to get your hands around him. But the Bruins played very well tonight. And I tell you, this is not a game where you come off looking at the ground. This is a game where you come off going, we looked good against a great team tonight.
I've seen this Central team now multiple times this year, and if anything, we haven't seen their front five get bullied on both sides of the ball by anybody. And they've got some decent guys, some strong football players up on their lines, and they just faced a foe today that won the battle in the trenches, and ultimately that's going to be the outcome of the game. Now, here's where the fun happens. For those of you watching at home that don't know what's going on, ball's got to travel 10 yards, and then it's a live football. So if a Central player were able to get on it before a Southwestern player does, hey, they can have the football.
See how Central Hardin wants to kick this one off.
Here we go. Here's the boot. It's a bouncer. You like it. It's free, and Central Hardin's got the football.
What a play by Central Hardin. They kicked it right to an up blocker. That is exactly how you draw that play up. It went right through the hands of that up blocker, and the Bruins pounced on it.
Well, they aren't going out without a fight. Eric Silvis is a 6'2 receiver. Gavin George is 6'3. I bet we see Hobbs take a shot here. time is not in their favor, but that's how you draw it up. You kick a 10-yard roller and you hope your team can fall on the football. And Southwestern didn't. Here's Hobbs. He's got the arm to get it to the end zone. Throws a little shorter than that, and it's a little too high, trying to connect with Noah Page.
Yeah, if he can pull it just a little bit in, pull it in just a little bit, he's got several passes tonight. And I tell you, they've got a lot to work on, but they've got a lot to be proud of tonight.
You know, every time I see an onside kick work, it leaves hope for every time that the teams I root for try it, because statistically it doesn't work very often. Here's Hobbs, a zinger inside. It's going to be a first down. They're going to have to get up to the line and get set up and maybe take a shot at the end zone on this play right here. Hobbs can stop the clock, though. You can still do that. It stops, but it will reset and start as soon as that referee gets out of there.
I can't remember the exact number.
Moving along. Here's Hobbs.
Hobbs looking around, waiting to see the official.
Picking up some yards. His stats are going to look a lot friendlier than the 2 for 8 he flung in the first half. But Southwestern playing a little bit of a protect.
And they're going to spike it right
Hobbs
here.
throws it down. Some people say, hey, why isn't that intentional grounding? No, you can do that.
Yeah, that's
As
one of
long
those.
as you go right down with it. You can't take any steps left, right, or whatever. You got to go right down with it. They built that into the rules so we could have some exciting finishes. Keep in mind, the Bruins got to score, get the ball back and score again.
Yeah.
But it starts with scoring. I would expect them to take a shot at the end zone here. Silva's 6'2", George 6'3.5". Toss it up, see who can make a play. Here's the 6'6" Hobbs. Yeah, it's to the end zone. He's too much.
Just a little bit too much. Page had a step and a half, and that could have been a great play, but just a little too much on it. You know, I got to wonder when they did that spike if Hobbs maybe had that Marino thought that if I get a one-on-one here, I might fake this one.
Yeah, you got to take a look. When you're trying to spike it, you always have that thought. Maybe you could just do the old fake spike and fling it up to somebody. But here, this one counts. They got 2 shots at the end zone here, and that's pretty much all Hobbs has to go for. Watch 3, George. George is open.
Play's kind of slow developing. He gets it to George, and George isn't going to get the first down.
But he's not going to pick up the first down. They don't have timeouts, and they better get set up. It's a 4th down play, 15 seconds. They're going to run out of time.
Yeah, there's not an opportunity to spike here. They're just going to have to go for it.
8 seconds, 7 seconds. Might as well try to get some points. Throw it to the end zone.
Free play, pressure coming. He's going to lob it towards the end zone.
Ball is up. Nice defense, and that's how we end 34-21. A lot more exciting finish than we thought we'd have in this football game, but a tip of the cap and safe travels back to Pulaski County for the Southwestern Warriors. Winners today, 34-21. Drew, your thoughts before we get out of here?
My thoughts are that the Central Hardin Bruins put up a great fight tonight against the South Hardin team that came in ready to go, and what a finish to this game. You know, when we were in the first half, we were thinking, we're going to get out of here a little bit early tonight. We're going to have a running clock, but the Central Hardin Bruins were having none of that. And I tell you, if they'd had a first half like they had a second half, we might be talking about a different outcome here. What a great comeback and just a great second half for the Central Hardin Bruins. Again, nothing for them to be hanging their heads about. They should be proud walking off this field.
Central Hardin had 4 of their drives end in turnover and downs in Southwestern territory that ended with 4th and 4, 4th and 3 multiple times. And they got to go back and look at their film and say a lot of what ifs. There's a lot of what-ifs in this football game. You don't ever expect a team to roll into your home stadium and beat up on you 27-0. And you're right. I thought we were going to be looking at a running clock in this football game. It just looked like the wind was out of their sails. Whatever their coaching staff did at halftime seemed to put some pep in their step. They came out with a little bit of Bruin pride. They played as good a football as they could. But ultimately, this team, Southwestern, won the football game. So 34-21 is the final today. On behalf of Drew Bernardi, the entire student crew, Dale Mings, our director, and myself, David Gary. Oh, we've got to make sure we mention the former Bruin, Jesse Bird, who is helping our broadcast team today. Thank you for joining us today, and join us next week on Friday. Wow.